Hey, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. We're here in New York City and we have invaded the Sound Collective. Big shout to Never Forever. We miss you, brother. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We have my main man here, Brooklyn. You don't want me to say Brooklyn's finest no more, right? He's Brooklyn's finest to me. We got DJ Goldfinger. What's good?
Yo.
We've been recording all week.
Dude, I've been trying to tell you all week.
He doesn't want me to say Brooklyn's finest. That's Clark Kent.
Definitely.
But we do Brooklyn's Queens finest, Bronx finest.
Got you.
All right. You're fine. Pause. You're fine. But yo, so wait, Goldie, thank you so much, man. This whole week we've been recording.
Yeah, man, it's been great, man.
Episodes. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Because a lot's going on.
Yeah.
Moma's going to come through.
Yeah.
DJ Moma from Everyday People is going to stop by.
My man.
I haven't spoken to him all year. This is unlike R.O.A.D podcast to go through a year without Moma on.
He's busy, bro.
He's family, you know, and I want to catch up with him and see how his crazy ass summer was with Everyday People.
Yeah, we got to get a wrap up.
But we have a special guest coming through too. This is this is maybe not a first, but maybe for this year's a first.
Kind of dope.
This is kind of big things going on. So big shout to Elijah, but Elijah hooked us up with Walter, and Walter is bringing Estelle. So we're gonna have Estelle, American boy,
the Estelle.
Yeah, our favorite London girl.
Yeah.
So Estelle's gonna come through. We're gonna speak with her for a little bit.
We should do something different though.
We are. You know what? So we're doing a big move to Patreon. This is gonna be actually our last episode. That's going to be on DSPs and YouTube. Moving forward, all our episodes are going to be strictly available on Patreon. Now, at some point, we're going to release some clips on YouTube. We're trying to create bonus content as well for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Stuff that'll never make it to YouTube. At least not for months, at least.
Just for our roadies.
Yeah. So like, I've always wanted to do this like kind of the actor studio. Like he asked these last questions like, what's your favorite curse word? But I put together 10 questions for every guest, and that'll be kind of like the bonus content. But
let's kick it off with Estelle.
Should I ask Estelle these 10 questions?
Yeah.
So all right, that'd be great. Estelle's going to be our first victim of the R.O.A.D 10. Of the R.O.A.D 10 questions. But it's probably going to be 2 months or so before any of these episodes on Patreon are going to make it to DSPs or YouTube, like the full episodes.
So that means you got to sign up, bro.
You got to sign up for the Patreon, and we're only doing this because we're going through renegotiations with DJ City and Beat Source, who I got a lot of love for. They've been tremendous supporters of the podcast for the past 5 to 6 years, and they've been holding us down. And we're kind of parting ways right now, but we want to keep this podcast going.
And we got heat. We got heat, bro.
We got a lot of heat.
We've
been working this week. But yeah, so we're going to speak with Estelle, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk with Moma.
Yo, Estelle's here.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So
okay,
let's get into it. Hey, yo, what's good? This is the R.O.A.D podcast, Reflections of a DJ. We're here in New York City, and we have invaded the Sound Collective. Now, I want to explain what the Sound Collective is. I got my man Lefty from the Sound Collective here. Lefty, thank you for having us and hosting this beautiful studio for us. Exactly what is the Sound Collective here in New York?
Modern, state-of-the-art facility with tons of production gear. And one side of it is you can be a member and you can come here and pay monthly to use the rooms and the gear and sign out time and our space. We have a state-of-the-art studio. We have all these production stations, DJ stations, instrument practicing rooms and such like that.
And you also teach. You have classes and sessions, right?
We have intensive programs, short-term programs that people can come and take Saturday classes on DJing, production.
There's kind of a community building within where there's DJs, producers, musicians.
Up and coming producers, people honing their craft and learning, and DJs and all these things. And they come here and practice, and we have all the new gear, so they come and check that out and get familiar. And a lot of DJs will come in from out of town, be like, let me get a day pass so I can just get a refresh on the 3000s and the V10.
And what's great is that a lot of our guests, everyone from Clark Kent to the technician to Camilo, they come in here and they're just holy shit.
You want to play with all the gear, man? Yeah.
I didn't even realize this, but you guys have studio spaces where people can do live streams and they can do their Twitch streams.
Yep. We got a whole green screen set up already, multicam, full on switcher. We also do a lot of events here. We're bringing a lot of outside talent, organizations. We got a big event coming up with DJ City, Beat Source, and Serato.
That's part of our family.
Yeah. We did a big one last year with them. We got another one coming up.
For our listeners, is there any way we could hook them up with a deal or You know, like if they put in a Road podcast code.
Yeah, tell me about it. What else do you have in vision for this deal? It sounds like we're well on our way. Why don't you tell them?
You're working with us where they can type in a code for like R.O.A.D.
Yep.
And they'll get a month free, right?
Yeah, on our online platform. We have a whole online platform with like masterclass style education.
Nice.
Different categories and everything, instruments, drums. And then we have these things that we're launching right now called Pro Paths. So you can choose, like if you're a producer, you can take the Ableton Pro Path, the Logic Pro Path, Serato Studio. Goes through a wide variety of knowledge besides just stuff in that skill set and discipline.
So our R.O.A.D listeners, if you're in New York, you can check out their facility. You can do a day pass, a week pass, a monthly pass. You can check out their site. You have access to all the education online.
Soundcollective.com. We also have a YouTube channel that has some of our content from the educational courses, and all of our events are live streamed and put up there.
I hope we can come back here and use your facilities again.
Looking forward to it.
Shout to Lefty and the Sound Collective. Thank you so much.
Okay, like 2 days ago.
Crazy, right? I know.
How long you been in LA for?
Since 2014.
2014. And why is it LA?
Because it's hot. Because
The
it's
weather.
warm. It's
The weather.
lovely.
Yeah.
It's glorious. The sun.
You don't
you
like
see?
that London weather?
No. I can categorically say don't like the
Food's
weather.
a little better in LA.
I cook, so that's all
cook.
subjective. Yeah.
Produce is a little better, a little more variety.
The Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's of it all, and I
Yeah.
grow food.
What do you cook?
I'm a farmer.
Oh, you are?
I grow
you have
food.
a garden?
Yeah, I do.
What do you grow?
I grow peppers, potatoes, carrots. Like I really do cook.
She's probably, in terms of artists that cook,
pull
top
me
5
up.
there.
That's them fighting words. Them fighting words.
And one
plate?
What do you say? Top 5 dead or alive? That's up with one LP. Top 5 dead or alive. That's up with 1 plate.
Wow.
I mean,
Top 5 artists
I'll take
that
it. It's a
cook.
brag. I'll take it.
Uh-oh.
Wait, so what's...
I'm gonna have to get Patty on the phone.
Listen, no, okay, and I'm close with Miss Patty.
Police.
Ooh! Them fighting words. Them fighting
All right,
words.
so let me clear it up. I'm close with Patty, and that was an honor. And she's like, "Oh, you know what you're doing." I said,
okay.
"Thank you. My mom would be very happy to hear that." Khalees is one of my friends. I've used all her products. They're incredible.
Dope.
Like she's definitely, if I can manage a farm, I too.
Wow.
I just can't manage a farm. Like that's a lot. But love the way she's doing it.
But
It's
you'd love
beautiful.
like some chickens maybe?
No.
You don't want any of that?
Look, I'm African from the maternal side.
Yeah.
I've heard many stories about having to actually kill chickens for my greats and my grands.
Oh
And
yeah. No, but
I
like
don't want-
eggs and stuff, like fresh eggs.
That's no,
cool, but you don't need it.
no. I'll get them from the shop, the farmer's market.
Wait, so what would be your
Your
signature
specialty.
dish?
Yeah.
That's tough. I'm told that I cook duck really well, roast duck really well.
Really?
Well, that's some of the favorites: duck, lamb, anything really. I'm West Indian and I'm African, so West Indian food is like cooking fries to me. African food is like making fried chicken to me. It's nothing.
So it's really your spices and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
it's how you season it. It's the prep for me, and yeah, those are basics. Everything else is like, oh, that's just a version of West Indian or African cooking. Cool, I could do it. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna intro you real quick.
We're
We're in it already, so I don't want to ruin the vibe,
It's okay.
But we're so happy to have this artist here. One of the most amazing voices ever.
My headphones are ringing right
Yeah,
now.
it's crazy. One of our favorite, being from New York and the States, one of our favorite London girls, right? In the business, she has a new single out, new album on the way.
Yeah.
The single sounds amazing.
Thank you.
There's a Terry Hunter remix that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love the direction you're going with Terry Hunter.
Thank you.
And this 80s, 90s house vibe, which is great. The single Oh My is out. I want to talk about the album a little bit more. But we have the amazing, the beautiful, the multi-talented Estelle in the building.
Estelle.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a good vibe. Yeah. Surrounded by this is amazing.
Yeah, man.
I walked in like, oh my goodness. Great.
If you're ever in New York and you just want to fuck around, just come to Sound Collective
Got you.
over here.
Be over here.
So I've heard in a few interviews you're really excited to record, and this is like a different. It's just,
The process for this album for me was just like finding all the joy and putting it back out there. You know, like I've had to reset a lot of the way I was thinking about my life period, and that trickled into every avenue that I was at.
Right.
And the product is this album. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so like, what do you think? What was it about the shift in energy, and what place where you think you were at?
Well, I had to find my joy again. I keep mentioning joy when I do interviews because it's the truth. I had to go back and find my personal joy, the reasons why I do this, and then get out the way of it all. Just get out the way of it all. I pray, and I literally was like, God, what should we say on this record? I feel where we going. What should we say? And the words would come, and the melody would come, and I wouldn't judge myself on it. I didn't overthink it. I didn't ask too many opinions. I just put it out, and trusted the producer. I worked with Keith Harris, and he did his thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dope. Do you feel like travel helps, expand?
Oh yeah, travel. I've been traveling my whole life, so absolutely, yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, it's a
Dope.
different. It gives me. Every single time I don't argue per se with my friends or family too much when people get into like, don't want to say closed-minded, but conversations that are very heady based on who they are and where they're from. My advice and my statements always like, when was the last time you left the country? Or when was the last time you left your city? For me, that's been my whole life. And I had to reset myself in that context. I had to say, okay, what have I learned from everything? What have I
From your experiences,
gathered from my experiences? And what about those experiences are true? What about those experiences relate to me now as versus back then? And what about them experiences can I carry forward into the music?
Incredible.
It's also like your relationship with the music, and I guess probably the work ethic is probably you put so much pressure on yourself when you record. Is that part of the process?
I do not.
You don't?
Not anymore.
It seems effortless though when we hear your music.
Thank you. It feels
It
that
really
way
does.
when I'm doing it. It really does. Like,
But you have this like routine now where you only do like 4 hours or something. Right?
The beginning of this album, I think I went in. We only had like. I was working with a producer, first of all, who was really busy. He's also a musician and an MD for many bands. So I just love the way he produces, and he understands me. I don't have to overthink it when I'm with him. Like, I can give him a vocal and be like, all right, I'm out. And he'll fix it. He'll make everything right. And he won't really mess with my vocals more. He'll make the beat
Just
exactly
wrap
where I
around.
want to go, right? Yeah. And so when I went in with Keith, it was literally, we had 4 hours. And we started it off before the Panini pandemic. Before that happened, we started it off.
I love it.
4 hours.
I like that.
The Panini,
I might have to
the
use that.
Panicard, the Panamania.
Panoramic.
It's just so many things. I had to rephrase it in my brain. Before the Panini, we would go in and do like 4 or 5 hour sessions, and then he'd have to go on tour, he'd have to go and do work, or I'd have to move around. And so when the Panini came, I was like, well, we just need them 4 hours. And I would call him. It was me, him, his right hand guy, who was like one of his main just partners, bounce of ideas, and my manager. And I would go in and hum and melody and put the words down, and he'd take the track and send it back to me a day or two later.
That's what's
finished.
up.
Oh wow.
4 hours at a time, and to the point he was kind of like, all right. And then we go in for another 4 hours. He was like, all right, you're spoiling me now, because now I think everybody has to do these big ass records in 4 hours. I don't want to be in here beyond 4 hours of any artist singing. Like, knock it out, let's go. Why are we still in here after hour 3? And I'm like, hey, well, that's me, you and God. Like, this ain't, let's not put that on anybody.
Yeah, typically, how long would it take to make a record? Like
the ones that have hit for me, and if I call them American Boy, One Love, which is in the dance space, Freak, which is in the dance space, they've all come in and been done in like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Like we didn't have extended sessions. We didn't have the time.
Yeah.
It was just like.
It's interesting you bring up One Love. It's like that EDM sound. It was definitely new. And I was
really. You think it was new?
I mean, no. At the time, I would have never thought Estelle would have done a David Guetta song.
I come from dance records.
Yeah.
I come from that era, that energy, that space from London. Like that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like we don't mix
That's
up.
cool.
I remember at the time there was like a Fat Man Scoop remix, Rest in Peace.
Which,
you remember?
Oh my goodness, that's the version I always perform.
Yeah, it
So
is.
like, it's just hype, it's vibes.
But I love that you're going to this 80s, 90s house kind of energy for the new
Yeah.
record.
Do you remember the records that you grew up listening to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the ones that made you feel like dancing?
Yeah.
Like them were the records that I that have moved me my whole life.
What were some of the records that inspired you?
Everything from Sylvester, Larry Levin, that whole his whole streak in the 70s and 80s. Anita Ward would ring my bell. You got Phyllis Hyman. I'm running down songs that from that end of the world. Then you got like. And you go to London and you've got Jazzy B and like Wookie and those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also still like the disco funk house. Got it at the top of my tongue.
Boogie and stuff of that nature.
Boogie, yeah. Freestyle Boogie and all of that still. War was one of the people that I loved. George Clinton, I'm looking at their album covers as I'm talking to you in my head. That's what I'm saying. Like George Clinton, the funk, those guys. Who else? Shalimar, Pointer Sisters.
So you were rediscovering these by going out?
No, I was listening to them. This is the stuff I listen to in my house.
But you're listening on vinyl.
I'm listening on all of it. I'm vinyl when I'm home. Streaming or digital, whatever. Playlists I've had for years that I would just put on loop on 12-hour flights. And these ones where we're going to Thailand for a day and stuff like that, I would just throw on this mix that I had that was just like 400 and something records of that entire genre and be good the whole flight. Like, don't nobody talk to me. I'll be in there like in the car like, this is crazy, right? But like this is who I am. This is who I've been, and it just started to dawn on me. This is the stuff that makes me happy and joyful, and this is the stuff I grew up on, and that's all I want to do.
Well, that's beautiful.
I want people to dance and be happy.
Yeah.
How different is this process to when American Boy was coming out? Yeah.
It's
like 2008, right?
2008, American Boy came out. We recorded it maybe in 2006.
6. Wow. Okay.
Because things take time.
Especially back then.
Even more now. Look, I started this one in 2017, and
really?
and I didn't. It came out this year, but it's different in that there were way more people around. It was the same in that I was as joyful then when I did it as I am now. Like I went into the studio like, this is, and I was in the same energy and the same vibe.
Beautiful.
Now.
Yeah.
Like
because that record sounds like you're having fun on it.
Yeah, it should though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't be emotional on American Boy. Like it's just I don't like to use the word nonsense. That's just fun. Like we was in there like just joking. Like you know?
It's so crazy because American Boy, it's like it's never gone away, and it's become that classic song. And
hold on, Kathy Sledge told me it was a forever record, and I said, okay, you would know. You would know.
When did she tell you that?
She told me that in the middle of the panini. I was like, I was stuck in front of my computer. Like,
nah, it really is.
First of all, I'm talking to Kathy Sledge.
That's crazy.
Of Sister Sledge. Like, lead singer Sister Sledge. First of all, like, you've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
I give, this is why this album is important to me, because it's standing on their shoulders.
Wow.
It's reminding people where we come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even as DJs, we DJ every weekend, 3 to 4 times a week.
Yep.
But it's like there are records in our playlists, in our folders
never
go away.
Never leave.
Never go away. Yeah. And American Boy is one of those records.
Yes.
It stays there. But it means so much more to DJs because it's like our save the room.
Word.
Does that make so? So like if we're playing and we're like, we go a little left. I'm like, I'm gonna play American Boy.
Bring them.
Look, I'm honored. I'm grateful. I'm so happy. For that. Like I understand that feeling. I know that.
Yeah.
Wait,
how do you have that feeling?
When I go to do shows, sometimes
really?
people want to. Sometimes you go to do shows and they just want to hear me sing R&B songs I've done. Sometimes I go shows and they're just like, sing "Come Over," and then everybody wants to hear American. But everybody wants to hear American Boy. It don't matter. I don't care if you came here for "Come Over" or you came here for a reggae song I did.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, take me either way. Like your shoulder's gonna go, and it's one of those great unifying records, and I prayed for that. I prayed for that.
Do you approach that record when you perform it differently now? Like And you just celebrated
Done it so
16
many
years,
times.
right?
Yeah, I've done it so many ways.
Yeah.
I have a new remix of it, produced by this guy called Nash Overstreet.
Mm-hmm.
We just did it. We're doing the 16th year anniversary, and we're giving
Nice.
vinyl, so DJs.
Nice.
Because no one has this
We
on
wanna
vinyl.
hear that. We wanna hear that. We wanna hear
It's
that.
coming. It's coming. No one
Yeah.
has it on vinyl. DJ played it the other night in the club, and he was like, "This is bootleg. I'm so sorry." I was just like, "However you get it, but we're coming with some vinyl. Don't worry."
That's dope. That's dope.
But yeah, we've had it for, we've performed this record in so many ways, but the newest version makes me happy because it's like, it sounds like today. It sounds
Right.
like Afro beats. It's a classic record and the beat is flawless. But having heard it in so many different iterations for me is just like, oh, and the kids are still loving it now with like a slight Afro beat to it.
But the fact that you like hit so many different genres, like you said, come over,
Yeah.
people love that record. And
that's right.
you know, you're going a slightly different way with this, with more like a house up tempo.
yeah.
So is it all up tempo or is it?
It's just all happy. I'll say that. Like, I think I stopped putting myself in genres probably around the time I made True Romance, because
Okay.
I was just doing what I wanted with everything in my soul on the album, and it felt good.
But even Thank You felt happy. Like
Yeah.
that was
Which
it's
is
a slow, it's a
weird.
down tempo,
Yeah.
but it's a very
Triumphant.
yeah.
It's like, I could do
yeah.
this. Women, we could do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
No, I just think I've grown up with so many different genres. Period. My whole life has been like, well, since I was a kid in London, we listen to genres. We don't just
Yeah.
play, oh, I'm just, I'm here for reggae, I'm here for R&B. As long as the thing in our family home was, as long as the music's good, that's it. I don't care what the song is.
That's a good way
if
to
it's
think.
good,
Yeah.
we good.
That's a good way. Yeah.
And so my mom, that was the thing. My mom would hear some nonsense lyrics or slackness or whatever. She'd be like, all right, okay,
Let's
it's
get
enough.
back, yeah.
Cut that out. And we would go outside or go in our room and listen to it. But she, our thing was always like, as long as it's good, then it's good,
Yeah,
that's what's
And so that was my thing with all the genres. And I do that now because
Yeah.
I can.
Come Over is such a beautiful record. It's such a beautiful record.
Thank you.
And it like that reggae dancehall feel, and even the John Legend song "No Other Love." Are we gonna have a little more revisit to?
Well, I have a whole
dancehall
reggae album called Love Is
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah.
And that's, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
this is gonna be completely different,
This
a little
is just
more
gonna
dancey.
be more up, more hype. I think the very first thing I said to Keith when we went in was like, and this was like I said, 2017, 2018 was like, I think people want to dance again. I feel like there's a really heavy energy going on,
yeah.
and I want to make something that makes people feel like they can dance. And just, I don't care if it's a two-step, I don't care if it's just your shoulders going or just a head nod or something. I want people to feel something other than dark and heavy. I want people to feel something other than moody. If your mood is moody, I want you to feel joy in that mood.
Wow.
And that's what we went into with this album. So everything, if I wasn't up dancing in the studio, it probably never made it. And I think I danced to every single record, not because it was me, but because the beat was like, I was like, where we going? Can I even get on the record yet? Like, we would be in there having a good time.
So you're looking forward to the people remixing these songs and
All of it. Have
Yeah.
fun, make it your own. I just want people to have joy for these records, to
you-
just be in it.
Are you gonna drop some like acapellas like for the DJs?
Well, I don't even need to do that anymore. Do I?
Yeah.
Like, people can just take them apart themselves.
Nah, but the acapellas are cleaner. Like I
Okay.
think,
Yeah.
Good
it's
to know.
like-
Well, then
some
I
of-
might.
And the ad-libs
I might
and
have
stuff
to.
like that.
especially
yeah,
with these
yeah.
dance records.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's just
So
like
we have to do the acapella album. You heard that? Okay. Good. All right. Cool. Got you.
yeah, because even like with Renaissance and Beyonce, she
She did
literally
the
just had a
acapella?
whole acapella album.
Right.
Just acapellas on there.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what the DJs want to do. They just want
Yeah.
to. They just want to fuck with it.
Yeah, yeah.
We do have something special for the DJs coming.
Okay,
My
okay.
manager just reminded me. He said we do have something special for the DJs. We do. We do have a special thing coming for the DJs. So
Yeah.
yeah, look out for that too. Yeah.
I really appreciate that because you've been such a staple
Yeah.
in our sets. So it's like when you do stuff for the DJs, we really appreciate that.
Listen, I'm honored. I just did an interview and I was just talking about how much work I put in, and I've met you before
Yes,
many
yes,
occasions,
definitely,
and we've
definitely.
I've been outside with the DJs, and I love and appreciate, because I've been around and touched pretty much every single part of the business, like personally. So knowing how hard it is to like move a crowd, any scenario, any amount of people, knowing that you have to know your records, almost have like a Rain Man
Yeah.
memory for different songs and different parts of songs, and watching you. I've watched you play skillfully, you know.
Thank you.
I watched you move around, baby.
Thank you.
It, to me, and all of my friends are DJs. I have such respect, and I have I just have a different level of like honor for what you guys do.
We appreciate
so,
you. Thank you.
So this has been in the works since 2017.
Yeah.
Or maybe earlier.
Yeah, probably earlier.
What takes the most time? Is it the mastering? Is it just listening to it over and over and seeing what's missing? And
Well, this time around it was the panini.
the panini, okay.
Yeah, a lot of things were being
Shuffled
and we did different deals, and I'm a big believer in, again, I pray for specifics and I wait for them specifics to show up, and our partner that we did the deal with gave us the specifics I was looking for, but also the right people, the right things, the right intention, the right energy around all of it.
Right.
Like every one of my projects.
brand partnerships and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
but not even just like the right
Has to be right,
baselines.
yeah.
Everything else can be moved, but the baselines have to be right. The timing has to be right. The when are we putting this up? What time of year? When will it hit? All of that stuff has to be. And I'll wait. The music's that good to me.
And you're
I'll
going
wait.
out again? You're going out touring?
I think I will. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I want to. I can't wait. This one, I can't wait to like perform this. I just want to go party with the people.
Oh, wow.
Like
Nice.
just go have fun with the fans. Like
We need you in Brooklyn. We need you in Brooklyn.
I'll be there. Look, whoever came to the Lovers Rock sets when we did the reggae tour sets, like we was in a dance. We were just in a party. Like as far as I know, I was singing a little bit, but we was up there like doing the
Dope.
most. Like everyone was getting shots. It was great.
Dope.
It was great.
Are you working with Kate Trinata again? I know they're
not on this album. Not
on this album?
But
Kitchen will probably do it itself.
You'll probably make a remix or something.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm
you know
waiting
how
on
Kitchen
it.
is.
We might. I mean, you never know. We might. He might have to do a remix, but he didn't do anything solely on this album. Keith Harris did, and myself did this whole album.
Okay.
And to me, it was just about like getting it in. But there's so many DJ friends and so many people that I'm already linked up with that it's kind of like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Is there any artist that you want to work with right now, or that you have worked with on this album?
Well, on this album, yeah, I have a couple people. I didn't go crazy because when you're known for being one half of a great duo per se on a single that is American Boy had Kanye in it, like that's a big duo record,
Yeah.
feature record I should say. So I wanted to kind of do just me,
Dope.
But I do have Channel Trey on this album. I do have Joy Gilliam on this album. Who else do I have on this album? I'm missing them. I'm thinking. I have Russell Taylor on this album. I have Tidra Moses on this
Oh,
album.
wow.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
I'm just thinking of songs.
Yeah.
We're promoting singles right now, but I'm just like, wait, hold on, I have other records. Yeah.
question.
And Tidra Moses is my dog, and Russell Taylor. These are two singers who, to me, man, give them all the light.
Yeah.
Give them all the light. They're
Yeah.
incredible singers.
I'm looking forward to that one already.
Yeah, it's a good time. You're going to like this one.
Dope.
You're gonna like
Dope.
So we have these 10 questions. I know you have you're on a press run. You're on the go.
They got shredded.
But we have these 10 questions that we ask
Okay.
all our DJs and artists that stop by.
Okay.
So I want to go through it real quick.
Alright.
What's your favorite city to perform in?
That's hard. Oh, that's hard. Oh, man, that's hard. New York.
New York?
Yeah.
Every time. Every
Yeah.
time.
Good answer.
Good answer. Great
Every
answer.
time. We have a ball every time.
Okay, what's your least favorite city to perform in?
I don't have one.
You don't have
I
one?
really don't have one.
Another good answer.
No.
She's good. She's good. She's very good.
Look, my shows, every time I do a show, I have genuine fun. Like, that's the most favorite part of the entire process for me is going on stage. Because, one, I believe that if you paid your money to come see something, come see something.
Right.
It ain't got to be theatrics, though sometimes theatrics are glorious. I don't want you to study too hard. I want you to be in the room with me, and that's my thing. So that's why I be having fun. Like, I be in there, like, jumping in the crowd, talking to the crowd.
I love
That's
it.
what's
You
up.
get it.
Yeah. All right, so next question. What's your absolute favorite thing to eat after a gig or a performance? Like a guilty pleasure.
That's tough. Okay, I've been trying to be a grown-up. If I don't actually eat, I just go to bed hungry.
Right. Which is the best way, right?
You're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, all right, so womanly vanity and stuff, like, just humanly vanity. Human vanity, I should say, not humanly vanity. Human vanity. Oh goodness, it's always some type of chocolate cake.
Oh,
Or like
chocolate
a
cake,
creme brulee
wow.
or something. But
Bad
that doesn't.
Estelle,
It's not
bad
good. It's
Estelle.
not. It's really not good for me at this stage in my life. I should be following my keto diet, but okay. Here
Bad
we are.
Estelle. Bad Estelle.
It's a wild time. Who knows?
All right. Is there a particular routine or ritual you have to do before a performance or a gig?
I always pray. I don't care how many people in the room standing around looking around. I always pray.
That's beautiful.
And that's it. Yeah.
What's your most memorable night performing ever?
Oh, jeez. That's tough. Oh. I performed in front of my nan, my granddad, and my whole family in London at the Jazz Cafe in maybe 2012.
Wow. That's big.
That was a big thing for me. My nanny hadn't seen me before. My granddad had seen me do one. My granddad on my dad's side had seen me sing one time with Roy Ayers.
Wow.
That blew his mind. I remember being like 23, 22.
Amazing.
And he was in the audience like, oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh, he just reminded me of another one. But that meant the most to me. Having them both in a room.
Right.
And then, this is the part. Prince.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I sang with Prince. I sang with Prince in Baltimore.
So did you get the aura, the orange?
The purple aura.
The purple was in the room.
No, his aura was orange.
Yeah, it really is. Let me tell you, I just put out Conqueror, and we did that independently. It was our first for real independent release. And in my head, I was doing loops in my head like, was this the right thing? Should we have done it? Did we need more support? Blah, 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 for weeks. And I remember getting a phone call. I'm literally in an apartment in Brooklyn. I fix things. I'm Bobette the Builder to clear my mind. People do Lego, people do other things. I fix things.
That's the other question.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was part of the other question.
Okay, so I'll come to it. So I'm sitting there putting together a bookshelf. I don't know if I needed it, but I just put together a bookshelf and I get a phone call from Prince. And he's like, you're doing great, yada, yada. And, I just think, this is what people need to hear. This is
beautiful.
This is really
That's
great.
And it's so random,
Like,
too. It's like...
Just 5:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday, right? And then we get another phone call and it's like, he wants you to come to Baltimore and sing with him. And I was like, sing what? Because what? Every time I can hit... In my head, I'm like, does he want me to sing Conquer because it sounds like he could go into Purple Rain?
Right.
No, that's you being too big-headed. Why would you think that he wants you to come and segue your song with his classic of all classics? No, cut it out. Well, we get to Baltimore and we don't know what we're singing on now. And I'm just here running through Prince songs in my head like, what if he wants me to cover? What if he wants me to just riff or just stand there and freestyle? And I'm like, go in the room and Miguel's there too. So me and Miguel are gonna go sing.
Wow.
And I'm here like, okay, for sure, Miguel's gonna sing Purple Rain, right? And so Prince is like, there's this other song. Do you know this record? I was like, I will know it before you get on the stage, for sure. So I've got my phone up and I'm listening to this record and Questlove's backstage and he's like, you prepared for anything? And I was like, yeah, you don't see me here with all these, I'm ready. And Miguel's like, he wants me to sing Purple Rain. I was like, murder it, bro. Like, it's gonna be great. And then we get up there and I'm thinking he's about to call me up and he calls Miguel up to do this other record that I was supposed to do. So my whole soul is...
Uh-oh.
I was like, well, if Miguel's going to sing that, maybe he don't want me to sing. I'm fine either way. And I'm just sitting there like a whole student, like, this is incredible. And then he starts playing Purple Rain. He's like, come on.
Sheesh.
And I bricked it. I went up there like scared as all get out, and he kept hitting the one. He hit the one like the down. Never meant to go twice. I was like, right now, okay, never meant to go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I sang it. I don't remember what it sounded like. It was an out of body experience, but I got to. And he's been throughout my life. He just pulls up. Before that moment, he would just pull up in various circumstances and just very godfather me.
That's a beautiful
and
story.
give me really good information about how to handle myself. So me being independent, and he was a big supporter of independent artists. It was the thing for me.
It's almost like he knew what you were going through, right?
Oh, he
Right.
did. He was otherworldly with it. And I think he'd seen a lot of us dealing with the changeovers.
Right.
So I appreciate it. Like that's something I couldn't make this up.
Is that something you do sometimes maybe? You'll hit up a new artist and just let them know and reassure them You sound great. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
If I like
good.
somebody, I repost and they'll be like, "Hey, I listened to you growing up," and I'm like, "Thank you so much." But also, we need you. Keep going.
right.
You know, like, and most of the time it's true.
It's
100% of the time when I say it, it's true.
Prince was a fan. That's great. And you can't stop being a
That's-
fan, right?
You can't say that.
Yeah, he was a fan.
No, but he obviously was.
Rest in peace, Prince was
Yeah,
a fan.
definitely,
But it's
definitely.
like it's beautiful because we can't stop being fans
Yeah.
of artists and
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
And if
That
Prince
keeps
could be
us-
if Prince could be a fan, that's crazy. Yeah.
That
What a
keeps us
great
young.
answer.
Keeps us young.
What's your favorite song to end the night with?
Oh, just in general.
In general.
Yeah.
Oh, anything Frankie Beverly Mays. Not because of the
rest in
recent,
peace, yeah.
not because he passed, but like I am the girl that's sitting there singing "We Are One."
Oh, nice.
And I'm definitely walking out to Golden Time of Day or Steppin'. Like I just there's some records that
Feed your soul.
yeah, it don't matter. We all grew up on Frankie Beverly and Mays. We all listened to it in London, whether we knew it or not. We had it. So those records to me are the ones that I walk through life with. But on my shows, I'm definitely going. I mean, you sing American Boy to end it.
You're right.
But I will also American Boy is something good. Like those two records go up for me. I'll listen to play some Michael Jackson to lead the stage, Baby on the
Really?
Boogie. Yeah, that's another one. Michael Jackson has these records too in that 80s, 70s block.
Yeah.
Without fail. Anywhere you go, people are gonna sing to it. And I'll be out here like, let's go, play no sunshine. Yeah, we used to sing it in our sets. It was great.
But that's the great thing about American Boy. It just embodies
All
that
of that.
energy.
Yeah.
But it was like a 2000s version of that.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's a genre of music that you never get to play but you love or perform?
Oh, it's tough.
Because you do a lot of different things.
Do a lot.
I think maybe there's one part of my shows, maybe a certain, maybe like a specific era, maybe that 2009, 10, where we would do shows in London or the UK and Europe, and I would throw in some Nirvana.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Smells like Team Spirit, really.
Now, do you
Yes.
perform with a DJ?
Yeah.
Dope. So
Yeah.
that would be dope. That's
Yeah.
all the impromptu stuff.
We have a board, and I put it into my shows. Like at that time, I was playing with musicians, and I was always telling them like, "Yo, here's a playlist. This is what I love. Learn everything." Like, and it was a bit audacious. It's apparently it was audacious as like a 20-something-year-old new artist. Who do you think you really? And I was like, watch. And every night we did it, they were like, got you, heard you, okay, understand. Yeah, did you learn that playlist I told you?
Yeah, that's dope.
Because they saw the reaction, and because we can do anything, because people like more than one genre.
Wow.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. It's your birthday, right? You can have any DJ, any performer
Yeah.
at any venue. Which DJ, which performer, which venue you choosing for
Hint,
your
hint.
birthday?
Yeah, because I really love Estelle. Because Estelle. Because I really love
All right, go
Estelle.
finger. The DJ. Okay.
That's why he's like, I gotta sit.
I'm honored.
No, let me tell you.
He's like, wait, where do I sit? I'm sitting next to
Go ahead and
Estelle.
give you your flowers now. It's been we've been saying this, I've been saying this, but we've been many New York nights, and we have friends in common, but it's different when he plays. Like there's DJs who play, and we have a lot of good friends and
Yes.
in common and whatnot.
Yes,
but like
definitely.
New York golfing, it's a down the line. It's not a like, oh, it's the hype DJ from New York. It's like no. It's New
Right.
York. It's New York. Like you know his name when you
All right.
So we
You
got the
be there.
DJ,
You
DJ
got the
Goldfinger.
DJ.
Who's the performer and what venue?
Who's the performer?
all right, it is Anita Baker.
Ooh.
Just because I love her. She's perfect. She's great. I watched her live recently, and she was cussing everybody out, and I said, you've earned the right. You have
Wow.
earned the right. You sound glorious. Get her correct. I was like, who I had to go speak to? Who do I need to go and cuss out? Which sound man do I need to? Hey, you heard our queen and what she said. Okay?
Now, where would you do it at?
Oh, goodness.
Because, I can travel,
It's a birthday party, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough.
Gotta bring back to London.
No,
No?
they can come here. I think one of my favorite venues, it just holds so much memories for me, and is always really beautiful, was the was it the House of Blues?
Oh, nice.
In New Orleans.
Nice.
In New Orleans.
In New
House
Orleans.
of Blues in New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a beautiful venue. I've had so many really good Prince there, like saw a few things.
The acoustics is just
It's
perfect.
just a vibe. It's
Wow.
big, but it's not like
Overbearing.
overwhelming. It's like it's perfectly intimate, but it's and then if I'm shooting for it, we're going for the Sphere too.
Ooh.
Wow.
Let's do
Big-
it.
Las
Let's
Vegas.
do
In
it.
Vegas?
The Sphere in Las
Have you
Vegas.
been?
Have
All
you
the
seen that
lights.
thing?
Yeah, have you been
No,
there?
I haven't been inside. I've seen all the pictures. I want to go inside. Hey, Sphere in Las Vegas. My birthday's coming up. I would like to host my birthday there. Please.
You heard her. Her birthday's coming up. I'm
performance,
DJ.
He's DJ. It's gonna be time. Many things are gonna happen. Okay.
When this happens,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Okay.
All right.
We're manifesting it.
Okay.
Who's someone you'd like to say thank you to that you never got a chance to say thank you to?
Oh man, that's too much.
This is when Kanye walks in. He's like,
I said thank you to him many times. Like he called all the thanks whenever he needed them, and whenever I saw him, I give. I'm not oblivious to the fact that he was a part of making that record go as worldwide as it went. It's a great record in itself. It would have gone, but he helped to jetpack it. So thank you. This is tough. Say thank you to that I never got a chance to say thank you to. Well, they're still here, so technically I could say thank you to them. So that's not right. Let me think about that.
Okay,
Come back.
we'll go back.
Yeah, we'll come back.
we'll get a pass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this goes back to what you just said. What's a profession other than your own that you would love to do?
Oh,
Carpenter?
no. I don't enjoy doing that shit for me. Like
Maintenance?
I don't want to do no for nobody else. No, cut that out. It's like the simple joy, like it's like immediate dopamine, right? Dopamine, endorphins and all that. Dopamine. It's like, oh, I put this together, yay! It's that. For me, like building things and
What are you building? Like IKEA furniture? Or
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you get that same type of thing when you're like building a song or you write a song or it's
That's
nothing
just-
like that?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a different joy. It's a different. Yeah.
It's like an empty head.
Yeah.
Building when you're building something, you can
Yeah.
have an empty head a little bit.
Yep.
And
You're
you
following
know.
instructions
Right.
and you're not overthinking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm following instructions. I'm not overthinking it, and it's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people who make a lot of decisions don't want to make any decisions. They want to just turn it off.
When I get to
Right.
not, I take
Yeah.
full advantage of not.
That's dope.
It's a good time.
And here's the last song.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, the last question.
Yeah.
What's the last song you want played at your funeral? A little morbid. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'd leave that up to like my kids, my family. To
Yeah.
what do you think best represented me? That would be the one. I'd be up there in the spirit, like that's not the record.
Hey, yo, DJ.
Hey,
I should have called Goldie.
scratch. Okay, it'd be a whole spiritual figure going. That would be me.
That was a sign. That was a sign.
That would be me.
That was a sign.
That was a
Turn the
sign.
shit
That was a sign. Yo, we gotta scratch that question. We gotta remove that question.
Somebody got upset. Somebody got upset.
That was spirit. Like, don't ask her that. Don't ask her that.
They're like, interview over, right?
And we're done. That's hilarious. Oh wait, no. Now I gotta think of the person I have to think. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I think maybe it would. Oh, okay. I don't think I can find her anymore. I had a singing teacher one time. Like, my mom allowed us to be in a group, and there was this I can't remember her name, but she was an older black lady, and her son and my friend, my sister, my cousin and her son were good friends. He's like, my mom's a singing teacher. Do you guys want to come and do singing lessons with us? And I remember her being just a really vivacious, creative black woman, and she never told us we were trash. We were trash.
Oh, wow.
Baby, we were trash. We were flat. We were high. We were crazy. But we had the vibe for it, and she would just boost us. She kept giving us so much, like, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. I've had a few of those people, and they all kind of resembled each other, so I feel like that was spirit kind of being like, here are the
jump from
breadcrumbs,
here,
here are the
yeah.
breadcrumbs, right? But I would like to say thank you to her for never ever telling us we were shit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Before you leave, though, I do want to talk about your radio show on Apple Music.
Yeah.
You got like 500 episodes deep, right?
Yes.
Wow.
We do. Look,
How long have you been doing this now?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
You love it?
I love it. It's a good time. I started it in the middle of the panini. Every time I say it now, I laugh. I said it with seriousness, but now I laugh because it really was a time of inventing or like introducing other sides of me to the world. And the show was as much music as I've said to you, artists, and it really is that library brain for me of like different things. And the show to me is more than just, I'm gonna play these records. It's one, we have like different segments of the show: daytime hype, which is like 90s, 80s, R&B, 90s, 90s and 2000s R&B. I said this way. Living Room Soul, which kind of throws back to some of the music that our parents grew up to and that we grew up to. And then we have Love on Wednesday, which is just about love and different perspectives on love and relationship and life. Cuffin', which is like a beautiful slow jam section, because we love a slow jam, you know. And then we have our Fridays where we do our DJ mixes, and that's where I get to incorporate all my DJ friends. So,
wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
I get to incorporate all my DJ friends, and so far we've had, I want to say everybody. You know, everybody that I've known and worked with, and that I could be like, hey, can you know, that's not affiliated in any other way, that can actually do a mix for us. And we've had them on the show, and we do that because, again, I believe that DJs are the heart, the soul, the root of everything. And I'm not just talking about, because I don't want to alienate, but I want to talk about DJs who are really here for the culture, who do this because they love it, who do this because they really want to contribute something good to the world. And we feature them on our show, new DJs as well as like tenured DJs, you know? So everyone from like, you haven't been on our show yet. You have to.
Not yet, but I'm doing your birthday party.
Good. There you go. You have to come. But everyone from like DJ Active and like,
Active's the homie. That's the homie.
Yeah,
Active's
like,
amazing, yeah.
you know, Max Glazer, and we do all different
We had Max here
genres.
yesterday.
There you go.
Okay.
So we have all of our peoples, but also brand new DJs, like young and up and coming DJs. We just had a new young lady called Middy Ripperton, who comes from the beat. I can't remember the name of the tribe, but a very well respected LA DJ school. You know, like, so we work with new people who are actually about the craft too. You know,
It's amazing.
Yeah, we do that on purpose because I think that's a forgotten part of R&B or just music in general.
And that's on Apple Music. And what time does it come on?
It's Apple Music. It's 5 days a week. Our Fridays are 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. Every single day of the week. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a good time. Tune in.
Right.
Estelle, thank you so much for coming to this, you know, very small and meager DJ podcast. We appreciate y'all.
Small and meager. Do you guys know what's in this building? Like, what was wrong? This is a great time.
No, and we're looking forward to the album. We
yeah.
love the
Thank you.
single.
Thank
and
you.
We're really excited. Thank you so much, Estelle. Our
Thank you.
favorite London girl, Estelle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
If you want to come be on the Estelle
Let us know when the acapella album is ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was crazy.
That's like our first artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Episode.
not really, but you know,
But
yeah,
yeah, no,
Jamaica
I
Creek.
mean, yeah.
You
But
know.
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
solely an artist.
Solely an artist. Yeah.
Solely an artist. No DJ background at
Right,
all,
right.
Or production background
Oh,
like that.
she got that show, so she's kind of like
Yeah, she's a little bit of a DJ. she got that Apple show.
You know?
And off camera, we were listening to some of the album, and it sounds
Fire.
amazing.
Fire.
I'm gonna talk to Walter about teasing some of the music.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely.
That's gonna be a banger for the.
Yeah. It's a shame, man. I wish Moma was here to catch some of that, man.
Yeah. That's one of those songs gonna be perfect for everyday people.
Yeah. I mean,
For real.
yeah, you just kept saying that. Like,
Yeah.
yo, this is like everyday people
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
That's
Big
crazy. So moving forward, I actually want to talk about this, the Patreon move and everything. So we're not going to completely abandon YouTube, just to reconfirm, but we're just going to be posting clips for the next 2-3 months.
Okay.
So we're going to have new episodes. I mean, I guess we could start announcing who's coming up, right? We got DJ SNS, which is crazy episode.
Wow.
We have Jazzy Joyce,
Yeah.
Mike Nasty.
Yeah.
We just recorded with Ralph McDaniels,
Yeah.
Max Glazer,
Yeah.
Spinner. That's insane.
That was a good one. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Nina Sky.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a ballads interview in Vegas. So all of these episodes are just going to continue week to week, but on Patreon. We're going to keep the episodes going, and we're going to keep the same formula. Wednesdays, the audio comes out on Patreon. Thursdays, the videos come out. And then Mondays, we're reserving Mondays for bonus Patreon content.
Oh, that sounds good.
Which is the extra episodes and so forth. But
you never know who's going to be on here now. Now we just step the game up. You know?
Yeah. And then the great thing about Estelle is she's so open to working with the DJs. This is the great thing about some of the artists that we've had on here. They want to involve the DJs.
Yeah.
And they're kind of looking to us to be like the communicators, to connect the DJs with them, which is great. And I'm looking forward to it.
More links, more music, more shit for the DJs.
All of that shit, yeah.
You know?
What's good, fam?
Good, fellas. What's going on?
You just got in?
I was outside fucking around on the keys. Sound Collective, man. It's fucking dope.
What's going on, sir?
Going on?
This is your second time at Sound Collective, right?
Yeah. Is this thing hot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was here before. Shout out to Lefty. I utilized the space to record a mixtape for Everyday People. We're actually launching Everyday People Radio on Apple Music.
What?
Yeah, and the mixes are live right now. So
Big
you
things.
getting the exclusive.
So we got Estelle on Apple Music. Now we got Moma, Everyday People on Apple Music.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's live now, huh?
Yeah, so basically we're curators, right? So I don't have a radio show like Estelle, but we're a curator page similar to Boiler Room has one of those.
Right.
I think Selection might have one of those. Of course, I think Selection is a radio show as well. But we're just curators, and we're launching with 17 mixes.
17.
Which took us a while to compile. We reached out to. I'm not hijacking the agenda, by the way. I'm just coming in hot talking about it.
Let's do it. Yo, by the way, I'm gonna intro you right though.
No, I don't need an intro. I've been on the show so many times.
We have DJ Moma from Everyday People in the building.
Mo.
What's good, man?
What up? What up? What up?
What up?
So yeah, we got 17 mixes. We got some of our favorite DJs. Obviously, we have some of our residents like myself, Mel House, Rich Knight, but we have some of our close collaborators like Sugar Shay, like
Sugar
Silent
Shay,
Addy.
Yep.
That's right.
Nice.
It's a lot of dope ass mixes on there. One mix, unfortunately, I'm just gonna go straight into the anecdote.
Go ahead.
Didn't make the cut because one song samples the marimbas from Michael Jackson, Liberian Girl.
Wow.
And that's how fucking bulletproof or untouchable Michael Jackson is on any of these DJ mixes.
Wow.
Not a vocal, not nothing. Just samples the marimba as part of a edit. I think a lot of people know it is the Just J edit of Wizkid's Essence. That kind of like flips it with Vibes Cartel and the Liberian Girl marimba.
Wow.
And that deaded the whole entire mix. So there's one unfortunate individual, and I was really excited about that mix. So it might not be live right now. We're going to have to scrub that Michael Jackson sample and re-upload it. So it might be a couple of weeks before it's up there. So we got 16 mixes for now, but ultimately we'll have 17. And then the aim is to, I don't know, regularly upload new mixes. Maybe 2, 3 at a time, 1 at a time. But we just kind of wanted to like launch it with a splash so somebody could get a cross-section of everything that Everyday People sounds like. We even have a recovery mix, like a day after, super chill mix. Yeah,
that's dope.
Wow,
yeah,
covering all the bases.
That's right.
That's congratulations on Apple on that collaboration with Apple.
Big.
That's
Yeah,
good shit.
it's a great look, and it's gonna like force me to actually upload some mixes to Apple Music and utilize that platform. It's a great platform because I already have an artist profile with some of the Moma piano stuff, with some of the Alma piano edits for like Janelle Monáe and so on and so forth.
Dope.
But there's a real demand for DJ mixes, and unlike SoundCloud where there's no real way to quantify what your mix does. At least with Apple Music, you can get paid for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good to see you, man. It's been a minute. Like you've been busy this year. The summer has been. It's been insane for you, no?
It's been more hectic than usual. I'm gonna say.
Has it been? Or does it feel different? Does it feel more hectic?
I feel like I'm getting old. I feel like I'm getting old, and maybe that's why it feels more hectic.
But that's the thing about this year. It's the funny thing about this year. Everyone I talk to, they feel like somewhat drained and exhausted, And there's nothing. I don't know if we're all just getting older. Or I don't know what is it about.
Listen,
this year.
I'm going on 15 crazy summers, right? But I'm not getting the adrenaline boost that's helping me get through it. You know, so now I got to do it off of like rest, recuperation, massages, hydrating. You know, it's a different type of approach. You know what I'm saying?
You're like a weathered NFL athlete right now. You need all.
And
I
before,
need the ice tub.
before I retire, right? Before I retire, I'm trying to get my last max contract. Right? It's not going to be an 8-year contract. I'm hoping for 3.
Yeah.
3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm washed, because at some point you're going to be washed up. Man.
How was it? How was this past summer with everyday people? The season's about to close in a couple months.
Yeah.
How was this summer?
It was great, man. It was very, very interesting. I'm gonna say that historically, New York has been the best party by far, right? I can't say that it's that anymore. You know,
Really?
Yeah. L.A.
Wait,
and
we're recording, man. You're gonna say that on tape?
But listen, I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna give you the context, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's do
I'm
it.
gonna tell you why.
Okay.
London and L.A. have just been incredible this summer. And then some of the one-offs. The one-offs are always great because these people will wait the whole year for the one party. So that's Amsterdam and
Chicago.
Amsterdam and Toronto were the one-offs.
I saw the Amsterdam
Chicago
footage from that. It's
Screw.
crazy.
Chicago was incredible. 4,000 people twice. The issue with New York is that it's been going on in New York for like 12 years. And I don't think there's a saturation of the party itself because we only do it 10 times a year in New York. I think a vast majority of the nightlife industry has shifted from nightlife parties to day parties.
Right.
So there's a saturation of day parties, right? And by the time you get to us on Sunday, somebody might have went to a party that utilizes the same template on Friday, twice on Saturday, earlier on Sunday. So, you know, we had a problem in New York back in the day where we couldn't get venues. We couldn't throw our own parties. And then when my co-founders, Sada and R.O.A.D, you know, we kind of stepped in and created a small space for us, and it worked out. And it became a bigger space for everyone.
Yeah. So I what people don't really understand is 10 plus years ago, this wasn't a thing. There was no formula for the day parties. There was no any venues that were open to black day parties that were playing hip hop, R&B, classics, amapiano, or Afro beats, dancehall, soca. There wasn't this blend.
It did not exist.
Did not exist.
Yeah.
But now
it's in New York specifically.
Now you might almost want to say that the everyday people formula is being kind of duplicated, but in everyone is doing it in their own way.
Everybody's doing it in their own way.
Right.
Everybody's tailoring to their own audience. We're still trying to be the catch-all that kind of tailor to everyone.
Right.
You know, but you got some parties that are leaning more HBCU, some that are leaning more Afro,
Right.
some that are leaning more bottle service, and everybody can get in where they fit in. And to me, that's the beauty of it, right? We wanted to empower ourselves to start our own shit, and I think in the process we helped empower a lot of people to become enterprising and do their own shit. Now, the beauty of that is like everybody's winning, everybody's eating, every party is sold out. And I think we've created the space for black people to come together and commune and really bypass the middleman, the club owners, the promoters, so on and so forth. The downside is that there's a saturation now and there may be a fatigue by the time you get to the end of the summer. Right. And I mean, it used to be dead ass that people would wait 2 to 3 weeks for everyday people to play the new Burna Boy record, right? Now that new record or that new Rema or that new Ashake has been rinsed dozens of times before they hear us play it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a bit of a saturation and a bit of a fatigue, but that only means that
you're doing it right.
That we're doing it right, that everybody else is doing it right, that New York City is still the #1 city in the world for people to hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like make moves and like set up their own parties and their own brands. It's a beautiful thing. But as far as I'm concerned, that energy where like you feel like the floor is gonna cave, this year I felt it in LA, in London, in Chicago, in Amsterdam, in Toronto. And in New York it just kind of feels like business as usual, you know?
Yeah, because New York is almost spoiled, right?
Spoiled, yeah.
They've had everyday people for 12 plus years, and they're just kind of like, no, we love it, but you know, it's kind of like now we have other options throughout the week, and it's like it's almost like distracting, right? Because it's almost like the same parties are just popping up, and there's all these now designated Afrobeats Amapiano parties. So people who are like just want to hear Afrobeats and Amapiano can go to those parties. There's those options now. That's
right.
been open.
That's right.
So it's kind of like everyday people used to be the only option.
Hot 97.
For, yeah. Thank God for Ebro.
Yeah,
right?
thank you.
No, but I mean that's a good point.
Yeah.
But that's a good. But it's also like when you start a new market, you're just gonna have one player in the market initially, right? And then everybody's gonna look at the business template, the business plan, and they'd be like, well, I could do the same shit, but I could either do it differently or I could do it better. And then a lot of players enter the market, and then you have a whole bunch of product offerings, and that's what New York is like right now. So,
but that's why when you go to LA or Chicago or these markets where they're starving.
they're not, they're not starving. LA has a bunch of really dope parties, but they tend to be less of the open format variety.
Gotcha.
They'll be hip hop and R&B, or they'll be Afro Caribbean. Some of them are just Caribbean.
Right.
Some of them are just Afro, and some of them are just straight up like hip hop and R&B. I think in LA, I think they accuse us of being the transplant party, which I don't mind that title.
You mean like New York transplants in LA?
All types of transplants, but a lot of New York transplants for sure. So we're probably still the one that's, our messaging is more about, we're playing everything, and from the hip hop to the Amapiano and everything in between.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say LA is starving. They got a bunch of dope ass day parties, but something that's like everyday people, they don't got it. And then London is different. All of their parties are dope, and they're all kind of like everyday people, and they all play everything, but they're not suffering from total saturation. There's probably like 4 or 5 really strong brands in London, kind of like DLT, like Recess. There's 2 slow jams parties that are killing it. There's everyday people, and there's a couple more, but you're looking at a handful of events that people can go to during the summer and have a good time. Whereas in New York, it's just too many.
Yeah. So my question is this: like you're a very meticulous person. You overanalyze, and you're very aware. You're observant. So like when you hit LA market, what is responding best in the LA market? What is it in London that everyday people's bringing that they're kind of like, oh, we don't hear this in London? What is it in Toronto? What is it in Chicago? Like I kind of break down these cities a little bit, because we've had conversations, and it's like it's genius how you're observant and you know exactly what's kind of missing and what everyday people needs to bring, into each different city and country. Yeah.
I mean, I've said before, everyday people comes with like a bag of ingredients, but every city has a different recipe.
Right.
So, I mean, New York is what it is. We play everything in New York, from hip hop, soca, Afrobeat, so on and so forth.
But how have you been approaching New York now?
I play shorter sets in New York. I'm not doing the 5 and 6 hour sets anymore. Predominantly because we have a good problem in New York. Our crowd is younger and younger. Like, I don't even know how we did that, but the crowd is so young that there's a lot of older music that I used to play that I can't really play anymore.
You still can.
I still can.
You need to.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not the
before.
focus, maybe, but you still can.
You know that everybody in every city's been saying that there's like this epidemic of young, like, new club goers, and everyone in every city is saying these club goers, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with themselves. It's almost like their first club or day club experience, and they just kind of don't know what to do. They're just kind of standing around, and they're a little clueless, and they're starting to learn a little bit more. But it's like you have that new demographic coming in.
I think also a lot of those people are spending more money buying the tickets, and maybe less money buying the drinks.
Yeah, no one's drinking.
Because I remember, like, man, whatever DJ said I'm on, I got to get through the first 2.5, 3 hours. After that, everybody's guaranteed to be lit. And I'm playing Baby, I'm Scared of You after that, right? It's not the case anymore. You'll be at a party for 3 or 4 hours, and you're like, these mugs are still sober. And part of it is maybe financial, But another part of it is that these really big day parties, it's hard to get a drink, man.
Yeah.
It'd be like 2,000 people and there's like 9 bartenders. Yeah, you do the math. That's like
20, 30-minute wait sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
You got a
And-
double fist.
Exactly. Pause.
You do though.
And especially the people that I would see, the people that are, the first 15 or 20 rows
Yeah.
that were closer to the stage, they're not trying to go all the way back to the
Yeah.
bar and then make it back
Yeah.
the way they are.
Yeah.
So we kind of have this small semicircle of sober people partying together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm relying on the dancers to energize everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see the tables in the back going off, right? The people who have like their little picnic tables and their bottles and their rum punch or what have you, they're having a ball. So that also contributes to it. If they're younger and more sober, we have to work a bit harder as DJs. So I'm not really doing the long ass sets like I used to. I'm playing 2 to 3 hours at the most. And then I'm trying to use more DJs who each bring their own energy.
Right.
Like to get on the same level.
But like
as these kids.
Millhouse has been killing it for you, right?
Millhouse has been killing it.
Shout out to
Get
Millhouse.
Live.
Get Live has been killing it. Showcase has
Yeah.
been killing
Showcase.
it. Flygerian, Mahogany. I use Wemmy. There's just so many talented ass. Flygerian.
So you got basically you got your own flip squad going on, and you're trying to get Rod Digger up there and all that, and you're trying to shine light on the up and comings.
I mean, more or less. More
on
or
the
less.
young bloods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
How have you been approaching the sets in New York? Is it more hip hop, more Amapiano, more Afro beats, more soca? What
I
is
think-
it? What's been hitting?
For me in New York, I've just been going like straight bangers because I'm playing shorter sets.
Right.
I'm playing like 2 hours in prime time. So
What's prime time for you though?
in terms of the hours?
Not so much to give away the sauce, but what's your? Oh, I got him when I play this. It's done.
Yeah, let's talk about end of the summer. What's been the summer bangers?
So there's 2 distinct lanes, right? For
Yeah.
me, there hasn't been any huge dance hall banger this year. So we're running stuff from last year and the year before. And the real bangers from this year in the Afro Caribbean kind of like lane has been the Rema album. Has a song called Ozepa, which I think is a Nigerian horror film. That's what it's based on, and it's like 74 BPM, almost like soca tempo.
wow.
And Ashake on his album has a song called Fuji Vibe that kind of starts out at like 125, 126 BPM.
And you've been playing that Legala.
Legali. I've been rinsing that. And then that song, Fuji Vibe, also goes up to about mid-70s BPM, almost like soca tempo. So from an Afro-Caribbean standpoint, I've been kind of using those 2 to connect to soca. And then from soca, I use that to connect to Jersey Club. And then the big climax is if I can get to the Sexy Reds and Glorilla's, TGIF, then I'm home free,
It's that people want that right now. Is that high energy, that fast. Now 120, 130 is not fast enough.
Yeah.
Now we need 150, 140.
Exactly.
That's 150, 140 is the soca Jersey Club.
And
It's
then
that
you go
whole
into-
energy, right?
and then you
could
double
go
it up,
back into
go back to trap.
You could
Yeah.
juggle trap and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the good thing about this Afro beats that I'm talking about in the soca and the Jersey Club, they're really fast. They're 74 BPM, but they're really 150,
Right.
Really 140. The trap music, however, is truly 75 BPM.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it gives them a breather, right? Because if you keep the party at that high tempo, within 30 minutes, people are legitimately
Burnt.
tired,
Yeah.
burnt, and it's hot. So then it's good to like go into like, it's crazy to say it, to go into like a Chief Keef moment,
Right.
or like a Pop Smoke moment.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a reprieve from all of that. And then you can bring it back up with, Nicki Minaj, everybody, and stuff like that, which is more of the higher tempo.
But it's interesting because it's like, if you know how to DJ open format or hip hop, if you kind of have to approach it like a house DJ. You have to create the breaks and the build-ups. And that's what you're doing is you're creating the breaks and the build-ups.
The tension and
Yeah,
peaks
because
and valleys.
the build-ups would be the soca. It's hitting, boom, boom, boom. Then how do I bring it back down? Go to trap a little bit, go to some ballads, some Keisha Cole's or Usher's, but Confessions, and then that's kind of the breakdown, and then you build it back up. You go into Jersey Club. Yeah, you're building the ups and downs.
That's kind of what we have to do
Yeah.
in New York. And then obviously a lot of the classic dance hall dance hall dancer type of sets. Those are always gonna be big in New York.
Is the Ashake and Travis Scott the active? Is that popping?
If you bring it in well, it really does hit. But it's not like, 2 summers ago when Nika was the biggest I'm a Piano record.
Right.
You just had to drop it from the top, and the minute people heard the chords, it was lit. It's not. You have to play it well. And bro, I shit you not, it went off in L.A. I was so surprised that it went off.
I'm not surprised.
It went off so big, and because it does have like an element of hip hop to it.
Yeah.
And it has an element of Nola Bounce, I think. I'm not sure if it's Big Frida. I don't know who they're sampling in the beginning, right? But it sounds like a Nola Bounce kind of artist.
But that song sounds like a label first single, like kind of like
that's the rollout.
That's
single.
the crossover song.
Yeah.
Because when I start having like certain DJs hitting me up, like I really like that new Active song. I'm like, oh, this shit is getting, this shit is too pop. Like this shit is too crossover.
So I like it, man. I live for those records that bridge genres, that bridge communities. That
makes the job easier.
That's where I make my living, man. That's where I make my money. Because all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect all this stuff,
So in LA though, how you approaching LA? And by the way, I gotta shout you out. You had SZA in LA and you had Lizzo in LA.
And this last weekend we had Victoria Monet.
But she was just singing, hanging out.
Just vibing.
And you didn't even know she was there.
I knew
she was there.
They were supposed to tell me, but they and right when they sent somebody to tell me, we had like a little technical problem. So me and Nadine, my sound tech, we were trying to fix it. And so the person went back and never told me.
Wait, what was the problem? This is some DJ nerd shit. What was the problem?
Some DJ nerd shit. I use a SP1 controller to trigger the stems. And
you've been heavy on stems.
Yeah, heavy.
People don't know this, but you're 3CDJ DJ now.
Live.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, at a minimum. Because there's been such few new songs in our arsenal every summer. Like I think like every summer we used to get 20 or 30 new bangers, and that would get you through the year.
Yeah.
And now you're working with like 3 or 4. You got to make the old shit sound fresh. And stems is great for that, man. I'm a big advocate. But at the same time, I don't want to toggle. I don't want to use the keyboard on the MacBook, and I want to use a third deck to kind of bring another instrumental, another a cappella. So I can't really use the S11 because it's a 2-channel mixer. And I know it's got a hidden virtual channel, but I already feel like I'm doing trigonometry in real time. I don't need to be doing calculus.
So you're using the EDM mixer, which is the 900.
There you go.
Right, artistic? That's the EDM mixer, right?
Shout out
kidding. I'm
artistic.
kidding. Shout out artistic.
But yeah, so I use it with the SP1 sampler, and on that specific day, I did not bring my sampler. My sound tech Nadine had her own, and she was mapping it in real time for me to the stems. But meanwhile, Joaquin from Pangea Sound was DJing, was killing it. And I think what we hadn't realized is that while she was mapping it in real time,
he was moving.
Everything that Joaquin was doing on the mixer was mapping too. So she finished mapping it for me. And then the minute I got on and I switched the crossfader from 3 to 4, it killed the vocal stem. And at first it was like, am I bugging?
Right.
And I would restore the vocal stem. And then I'd move the crossfader again. And after 2 or 3 times, I figured it out. I was like, yo, while you were mapping it, other shit was mapping at the same time. So I was like, we got to map it in a vacuum. We can't map it live.
You can't touch any of the buttons or knobs on the 900 while you're mapping it. Right?
Yeah, especially not if, because sometimes in order to map this stuff, your MacBook has to be connected to Serato hardware. So we were connected to the 900 mixer that Joaquin was playing on at the time. So in real time, we just had to delete the MIDI settings for it and then remap it in real time. And that's when somebody came to tell me that SZA was in the building, and that information never got to me, which is unfortunate because at one point I was at a critical junction playing a slow jam set, and I was looking at Mariah Carey, We Belong Together, and I was looking at SZA, Snooze.
Yeah.
Wow. But I did not know. And I didn't have the confidence to play Snooze, because Snooze is such like a specific type of record, whereas We Belong Together is just, you know, it's
It's a karaoke record.
yeah, everybody knows it. So I played We Belong Together. But if I had known that she was in the building,
Oh my god.
That would have ripped her.
I would have did Snooze.
Can you imagine?
I would have did I would have saved Rich Baby Daddy. I wouldn't have cut out her verse to Rich Baby Daddy.
You cut out her.
I didn't
wouldn't
cut
have
it out.
off, baby. Scissor. Just want you to know. I won't code up your verse. I'm shooting my shot. I don't give a fuck.
That's
So,
to me. That's where the energy goes up when they hear her verse. I always play that one. I'll play that over the Drake. You know, but you were doing the thing probably where you were just playing the hook and looping the hook.
nah, I usually play the intro hook, the Drake verse, and then the second hook, and then I go into the sexy drill after that. Usually.
See, I'll even cut off Drake's verse
And go
just
straight to SZA.
straight to SZA because it catches everyone off guard, and then the energy kind of it's like the energy starts kind of dwindling the further you get into Drake's verse, and then when you hit him with the SZA, it just snaps them out of it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I might do that. I might start doing that.
But yeah, that's crazy. That would have been a moment too.
She's like one of our holy grails, you know.
Right.
I mean, like the biggest R&B artist is Beyonce, and then after her, it's SZA. You know, it's literally it.
I would agree with that.
We're gonna have her on the podcast soon.
Yeah,
We just had Estelle.
Of course. Why not?
Shout out to Estelle.
All right, so with the LA, you approach it differently, right?
I approach it differently. Whereas but New York, the climax is centered around like Afro-Caribbean into like the girl summer of the Sexy Reds and the Glorillas. In LA, I try to rinse the Afro-Caribbean early. So when I get on, that'll be the earlier part of my set because it's more of a hip hop room. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if I'm playing 50% Afro-Caribbean in New York, I'm not doing that much in LA. But you know, the bangers are still the bangers. You're still climaxing towards Glorilla. You're still LA. You know, your gospel moment in LA is huge.
I'm seeing.
Your Kirk Franklin's and
It's extended too now.
yeah.
You get more in.
I get more in. Yeah, it's more and more songs.
I did a little bit of your gospel set in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Did it hit?
Yeah, I had to hold electric slide for 30 minutes.
Nice.
Sheesh.
The manager came up. He's like, "I've never seen this before ever, like in the history of Daylight." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Thank you, Moma. Thank you, everyday people." All these black people were bewildered. They're like, "Who's this Korean guy just playing all this Kirk Franklin and shit?" It was amazing.
Speaking of which, Frankie Beverly passed away.
Yes.
God rest his soul, man.
How do you go through a party now by playing fucking Before I Let Go?
You know, it's very emotional because Frankie Beverly, you know, means so much to all parties, all cookouts, right? But in the same week, him and Fat Man Scoop,
Crazy.
Sergio Mendes.
Rich Homie Quan, and I'm like, those are songs that I've been playing for decades. You know what I mean? And I don't think that the entirety of the crowd is aware. They know that they passed, but I think they think of some of those people as just voices. Whereas for me, I'm like, yo, these are the batteries in my back.
Yep.
Where would I be without Fat Man Scoop? You know, how many parties has he bailed me out? How many times has he brought the energy up? And same thing with like Frankie Beverly. So it's definitely a moment of sadness for me when I play him. But I'm not
It's
gonna
gonna
lie, I
hit
feel
different.
like,
It's gonna hit way different now.
I think it's gonna hit way different with maybe people closer to my age group. Because when I'm playing it to like 25 to 30, they just wilding, man.
Yeah.
They're not.
It's different because like we've been seeing that record work for like decades. It's just like decades and decades and decades from the fucking 80s to the 90s to the 2000s. It isn't going to go away. It doesn't go. Well, you know, it's funny. We just had Estelle and we talked to Nina Sky as well. And it was like, you know, Move Your Body, Nina Sky, Estelle, American Boy. I was like, we were just saying, like, there isn't a day that goes by when I'm DJing where I'm not playing that record. It's almost like you have to play these records.
Hot music.
It's like
Soho.
if I'm going left, if like, oh, I got to get him back, I'm play American Boy. Oh, I'm going too right, or I want to go into Latin. Let me do some Move Your Body, or let me go into some dancehall or whatever. It's like these are the staple record. I don't know what's a good word or you know
Tools.
I mean, I don't. They're just the DJ go
Essentials.
They
DJ
save
essentials.
us, right?
Essentials, yeah.
Yeah.
Essentials.
They're like part of the survival kit.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
LA's been great because the energy is so good that first time I played a UK garage set in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had pretty late, like 7:15, 7:30, which is go time, and they were rocking with it. Granted, it was all like edits of like slow jams that people knew, but still, LA's a vibe right now.
Chicago looked epic.
Chicago's insane. So Chicago, we got to rinse the Afro-Caribbean early. Not only do we got to rinse the Afro-Caribbean early, we also got to rinse those other bangers early. We got to get everything out of the way in Chicago before we hand it over to them and their DJs at 8. Because when they start playing Chicago drill and they start playing juke and they start playing footwork and they start playing some of these house classics, that room goes off. And like, I'm not presumptuous enough to be like, I'm that DJ. I'm not that DJ. So I'm like, yo, thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for buying 4,000 tickets. We're going to run this Everyday People program. We're going to get it out of the way. Y'all going to have a good time with it. But the real show starts when they get on, when their local DJs get on.
That's crazy.
Like Khalib, like Sky Jetta, like Mochi, like who else did we have last time? I can't quite remember. So many dope ass local DJs, and they have, a juke cha-cha slide version where you got like 4,000 people, one hop, 2 times, 3 hops, everybody hopping together. It's a sight to behold.
It's almost like you got to be bilingual. You go in these different cities, you got to know the language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's dope.
But have you ever done that before where you depended on the local DJs to kind of hold down?
Well, it's something that we started doing in cities that kind of have a really pronounced culture musically.
Right. Like Chicago.
Like London, right? And it's something that we've been implementing where I'll play until 8:30. I'll play until there's about 90 minutes left in the party. And I'll rinse so many heaters that there's really nowhere else to go after me except for the local shit.
Right.
For the regional shit. And in London, I tell a DJ that gets on after me, listen, I played everything.
Do you?
Please get on and play gigs, you know what I'm saying? And play Skepta.
Right.
And play UK house classics. And the room goes crazy. And they also have like their own dance hall classics that are not necessarily staples in New York. Like that Gaza Slim record, One Man, Fiddy Boom Boom, yeah. That is the biggest dance hall record in the UK. And you wouldn't know unless you went to the UK a lot. So I tell the DJs, get on after me, go regional, because they forgot about this shit. They thinking that they're at this diaspora New York style party. And then you remind them of exactly where we are.
And it makes it more
authentic.
Authentic to them, and it kind of celebrates them to a certain degree as well. You know
it's
what I mean?
It's a great arc.
A reminder.
It's a great arc.
Yeah.
Because
and that's after you do that for 20 minutes, if you can sustain it for 20 to 30, more power to you. But if you run out of local heat, so to speak, then repeat some of the shit that I did, or play whatever you want after that. Because at that point, they trust you and the party's lit.
Right. And they feel appreciated.
Yeah, the last hour, last half hour, it's just like you just got to do what you got to do to just take the energy up another notch.
And it's helped us keep every room packed until the party's over.
So what are the cities where you've had to done that? Chicago, London. Is there any others?
Chicago.
And another thing, it's nice that you just you're starting to let go of the reins this year, and you're starting to let everyone just kind of like, you know what you're doing. Just shine.
The brand is the brand. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the brand is the brand.
My job is to bring everything together. My job is to make it make sense, right? If somebody comes in a room, let's say you're in Paris, where we did Everyday People Paris this year during Fashion Week. Let's say you're in Paris and you got American expats. You got kind of international French fashion people. You got local French fashion people. And I'm trying to pull up and I'm trying to play Nicki Minaj and I'm trying to play Beanie Man and I'm trying to play Amapiano and Soca. It sounds wildly incoherent, So my job is to just probe until I can bring the whole thing together. And when I bring it together, then I got to give them some of these joints that everybody rocks with. Whether you're talking about a Burna Boy or a Drake or, the biggest Amapiano record or the Sexy Red, so on and so forth. And after that point, I can hand it over to the local DJs. We did that in Paris as well. We went first, and then after about a couple of hours, our partners got on, and they played these French Caribbean records that we didn't know.
Wow.
You talk about Martinique, Guadeloupe,
Wait, what does this sound like? What is it?
It sounds like a mixture of like soca and Haitian compa. It all sounds extremely familiar. It's just that we never heard the songs, but 3,000 people knew them word for word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why, you just got to tap into the local DJs. And instead of me trying to do that set, I'd rather somebody local just shell it down.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting that you're starting to let that go this year. Is it you kind of stepping away from everyday people a little bit? Like you want to kind of do something on your own, or you're pushing anything, or no?
No, I think it's just a matter of the way I utilize my time.
Okay.
Like, I remember like very early on in my DJ career, because I always think really far ahead. I was like, at some point, I'm not going to be able to keep up with everything, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to keep up with shit as long as I can so that I can always relate to the youth and the people who are out in the scene, right? And now it's not even about keeping up with hip hop or the newest dance hall. Now it's about keeping up with new genres that are popping up left and right. And I think for me, there's diminishing returns at this point. If I want to keep up with like the latest French hip hop or Martinique dance hall, I could, right? But I think my time is better spent doing other things, like growing the business, working on my own music, taking care of my health.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, do I want to be like 75 years old and having my finger on the pulse of every city? I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, to what end?
Yeah.
It's like I'm collecting these useless infinity stones that I can't cash in. So, no.
All right. So what's been your top cities this year? Top 3.
Yeah, tell us about
for the everyday people.
Because that Amsterdam footage looked crazy.
Amsterdam is incredible. The Amsterdam is the complete opposite of New York. Not only is there no everyday people saturation, they don't even have events like it. They don't even do day parties. You know, they have a lot of festivals and then nightclubs. So we're coming in and
breath of fresh air.
The breath of fresh air and the energy that I feel in Amsterdam, I shit you not, is
I
like
saw the
day
footage.
one.
I saw the footage, bro. It was somebody hanging from like a balcony.
That was Chito.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
That's my host, Chito. Shout out to him. But the energy that I feel in Amsterdam is day one New York. It feels like the DL in 2013.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah.
So that's top 3 definitely this year.
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Toronto.
Toronto
was insane.
But Toronto's always been amazing, right?
Yeah, you know, Toronto can be hit or miss.
Really?
Yeah. Because
you have such a great blend of like Afro-Caribbean. It's like,
the women,
spectacular.
Jesus Christ.
Right? But the problem with Toronto is they have a shortage of venues. So everything above a certain size happens at the same venue.
So do you think that maybe the problem is not really the programming or what you're doing in New York? Maybe it's the venues? Maybe it's just like they need a breath of fresh air of the presentation or what you...
You know, New York, we use 4 to 5 different venues, right? We're at Knockdown Center. We're at Elsewhere. We are at Nowadays. And this year we did Pier 17. All right, I take that back. Pier 17 in New York.
I heard about that.
See, exactly. So to your point, you introduce a new venue.
Yeah, I think that might
a spectacular rooftop, 4,000 people overlooking the East River, views of the Statue of Liberty, so on and so forth. That energy was incredible. That was probably our best event this year.
You know what? It seems like your party is starting to go in the... Remember the Wild Pitch parties?
Yeah.
Wild Pitch parties used to move all around the city. It was the same energy at all these different spaces, but they opened it up in different places. You never really knew where you was going to go until the party came up.
The problem is that, you know, the parties are so big that it's really hard to find a 2,500 to 3,000 person space that can accommodate what we do with the stage, with the proper lighting.
And then it's kind of like you don't want to put it in a place where you don't know the dynamics of what can happen. If it's a new space,
right on,
you have to find out.
Yeah,
this is not right or that's not right.
But that's really interesting because I would have never thought that the venue itself would become slightly a problem. The venue would become redundant, you know, where it just becomes like predictable a little bit.
Well, listen, right? As part of the template, we introduced a lot of people in the city to those venues.
Right.
And a lot of those venues are dance music venues, right? They don't do black people mainstream open format events. And, you know, we're the calling card. We come in. We show them that these events
can't happen.
Yeah, they're financially solvent. They're going to make money and they're safe and there's no shootings and, you know, everybody's having a good time. And that kind of paved the way for everybody to come in and kind of, unfortunately, utilize the same venues.
Right.
So all of those parties that I'm talking, every party's at the same venue, more or less. So that adds to the redundancy in New York. But like Pier 17, you know, only we got to do it this year.
And that shit looked crazy.
That shit was mad. 4,000 people on a rooftop. It was incredible.
Wow.
You know? And I didn't even know, bro, the screen was kind of like live casting the whole thing. So it was almost like a concert where they had cameras capturing the dancers on the stage.
That's crazy.
The DJ set.
It was all on the
crazy.
LEDs.
on a massive screen above me, which I didn't even know was there because I came in from the backstage.
I unfortunately had a party that night, and while that shit was going on, you can fucking feel the energy coming from the pier.
Wow.
It's nuts.
All right, so we got Amsterdam top 3, and then what else?
I think-
Toronto. You
Yeah.
said? Toronto this year, maybe.
I think Amsterdam and Toronto were the top 2 parties. But again, it's because they only happened once. So it's like opening up a can of energy, right?
Right.
But for me, the 3 most satisfying cities have been LA, London, and Chicago, and in no particular order. For me, probably London, because that's where musically I can like really stretch out the most. I think they have the highest musical IQ of virtually anywhere outside of South Africa.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
I got to say, with Chicago, I really loved what you guys were doing in Chicago because I feel like they never really get that much of a highlight for their the party music, you know, like, and I was seeing like juke and like all this old school Chicago house like kind of popping off, and you never get to witness that, you know. So it was kind of eye opening where I'm like, yo, this is like what they always talk about, like, and they don't get that kind of representation.
They don't even get it in their own city. You know, that's the takeaway that I got from the way people was talking to me after the event. It was like, we want to thank you for doing this. We don't get this in our own city.
Right.
I think it's because it's a city that's, you know, scarred over the years with like, whether it's violence or, you know, the way the police department treats a certain community.
Very segregated.
Yeah, it's very segregated. So they don't, you know, venues aren't usually open to events of that scale for Black people. And so hopefully we can pave the way for more events because I'm, you know.
Or be the example.
They should be local parties that are just as good, maybe even better, maybe even bigger. You know, that should happen in Chicago.
I mean, I was educated. I was like, yo, juke. I was like, I'm not even really sure what the fuck juke is. I'm sure I heard it before, but no one's ever come to me and be like, yo, play some juke, you know?
But from hearing them play it in their hometown and weave in and out of it, it's given me ideas. So I don't necessarily go to Chicago to play juke, but I'm playing juke in LA because it's a lot of people from the Midwest in LA.
Right.
It's a lot of people from Chicago, more so than in New York. There's just more African American people in LA, you know, than you can find. Like New York at a random party, there's so many Caribbean people and so many African people who don't have any context when it comes to juke music. But in LA, you know, I'm like, there's gotta be 100 people here from like Chicago or really Wisconsin or Detroit. And they're gonna start a fire in this party.
Right.
They might start a dancing circle. And, you know, if the crowd is with it, then I might do 2 or 3 more records. So I'm learning from hearing the DJs in the respective cities. Similarly, when I go to London and they do their set, I'm learning. But I don't necessarily want to play it in London because I don't want to be kind of like lame with it. But I'll play it elsewhere and I'll give it my own interpretation.
Yeah, that's great. Because it's ultimately, it's also going to, like you said, it's going to affect your set in other cities like LA. You're going to incorporate some of that juke in there, and that's amazing.
I'm playing juke at Dance 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 on Wednesdays at LeBain.
Wow.
Nice.
And you know what's dope about that?
Yeah.
My dancers that travel with everyday people know the music now. So when they hear it come in, they're like, they're with it. They're like, oh, it feels personal to them.
Right.
This is the shit we heard in Chicago. And then they start like a dance circle. They kind of approximate the moves.
Yeah.
It's not always it because they're mostly African.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they got their own swag with it. So it's fun.
Dance has been going off. You and Ellie Escobar. Shout to Ellie.
10 years.
Ellie's fucking killing it. I got to get him on here for Tiki Disco. He's fucking murdering.
He just released the album.
Oh my God.
Tiki Disco released the album, and he's got his own venue in Williamsburg, Gabriella.
Yeah, Gabriella, his own club. I got to get Ellie. We got to get you on here, man. We're on the same building. Let's go.
That's right.
Some on there.
Shout out Ellie Escobar.
Yeah. So but Dance is you guys still going strong every Wednesday.
We're approaching the 10-year anniversary.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's like a labor of love too.
It
You
is.
guys love.
It is.
You guys are there out of love.
Yeah, we're not there for the money. But shout out to LeBain, you know what I'm saying? They held us down for 10 years. It's never been about the money for them or for us. But fortunately, you know, the party's doing well. I think it's one of their better nights, including the weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
It's only one of the only times I know I'm guaranteed to see you in New York because I'm like, oh, he'll be back on Wednesday for Dance. So I'll be like, yo,
I'm around on Wednesday.
that's like the only time I get to see him. Is like whenever I'm in New York. I've been in New York more often, but he's fucking gone. But then I'm like, yo, he'll be back Wednesday, so I'll stop by Dance and check him out. So like, I guess we could have this conversation now. Summer's over. You know, we're nearing the end of September. We could talk about the song of the summer.
Song of the summer.
Song of the summer. So we can get into it a little bit this year and just talk about what was working, what wasn't working, and where music is in the clubs right now.
Okay, hot take.
Hot take. What's the song of the summer?
Kendrick was not the song of the summer. Hot take.
Not Like Us.
Not Like Us was not the song of the summer.
You know what everyone's going to say, though, right?
I'm a hater.
It's two New York motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Technically, I'm the third.
Yeah.
And, you know, they just hate on L.A.
To tell you the absolute truth, I thought that record died really about 5 times.
You were never a fan of that record.
I was a fan, but I just was never totally convinced.
Why?
I thought it was a little too wordy. The chorus is incredible. The beat is really good. I thought it was too wordy.
But I think you're talking about two different things, right? The song of the summer doesn't have to be good to be the song of the summer, right? And that's what we are.
I think so.
With not like it's not a great record, you know.
It's not your song of the summer,
No,
but it is song of the summer.
Definitely,
It is the song of the summer.
No, this might be the song of the year. To be totally honest, it might be the song of the year, but it's not my song of the summer. I'm not gonna get that lovey-dovey. They're walking out of the club, they're still singing "They're Not Like Us" on my joint. Nah, they're not. It's just not.
I gotta say, unfortunately for me, I would have liked to have given it to Glorilla, TGIF, but it's still a song that you play for a minute and get out of. Unfortunately for me, I gotta say it's Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
It is still.
Yeah, because you know the intro is huge.
Are
and
you
the
playing
outro
that?
is huge.
Second verse, third verse?
No, I have cue points. So what
Goldie, do you know what cue points are?
I think I might know what cue points are.
Are you DJing in absolute mode like Kid Capri?
Oh shit!
He's still in absolute mode.
Damn, that's foul. No way. The kid is still on
He's
absolute.
in absolute mode.
Yeah, man, good for him, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I-
You have cue points.
Yeah, and in New York, I usually play, you know, the first verse, the hook, and then I cut to the outro.
Right.
In LA, I definitely play the second verse because they start doing that thing where they jump around and do the shoulders, right?
Yeah.
But
It's such a long build up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In LA, it doesn't matter. They're here for it, you know. And especially when we go there and we give them that Kendrick record, we give them Soak City, we give them YG record. They feel seen, you know. So it's totally different.
But see, like a Soak City, I love Soak City.
I like the YG record. The YG record is hard.
Which one?
What's it should call the what's it? What's up?
BPT? The old
No.
shit?
The new one. The new Naka. Is it Naka?
I'm not sure.
Naka that shit is hard. Is it Naka?
Yeah. I'm not
Naka.
hearing any. I'm not hearing any.
Nah,
new
that
YG, really.
Nah, that joint is what's up.
Really?
That joint is what's up. I like that record.
I love Soak City. I bring that back at least 4 times. That piano alone, that shit hits for me.
Yeah.
But the Not Like Us, you know, you're playing second verse. You're not doing third verse.
I'm not doing third. I mean, listen. Also, like, what month is this? Like, you know, summer. This song dropped 4 months ago.
Maybe.
Yeah, so it's towards the tail end, you know, of what it did. But early on, I mean, it
You
was
playing it
just
all the way through?
undeniable monster. I don't think I've ever played it all the way through because it just gets. I don't like the song personally. Like, I don't think it's a good song. You know,
It served its purpose.
it served its purpose.
But I think just from playing it out in the club, it doesn't have the right frequency for me for my parties. I'll see that.
What's the issue that you don't like about it? That it's not your personal favorite?
I don't like that pedophile shit. That right there is just like, it's a red flag. It's like, I can't get it over with girls. It just feels icky.
Icky.
Listen, I don't know.
Not Like Us gives you the ick.
Yeah, it does.
I just think it's an average record, but also from a content standpoint, it's just kind of based on these wild accusations,
Right.
That's the other thing that's kind of unsavory about it. It's an unsavory record all around, and it's a great record.
Mm-hmm. Great hook.
If you're like
it's an incredible
if you're like
hook.
a Drake hater, right? If you're a hater of Drake, this record is like a dream come true.
I don't think it has anything to do with Drake for me. I just think that you rhyming and like talking about pedophile and shit.
But there's a lot of politics with that record too, as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you like Mo has family at Dreamville.
Okay.
Eve, Boss is in Dreamville. He's basically family with Cole. And then Cole was kind of in the middle of it.
And I met Drake several times. And I opened his show.
Yeah.
I opened his show in Montreal. I have a good relationship with those guys. Like, if it were up to me, I would have never played that record. Like, what's the first record that dropped with the Metro Boomin and Future on it?
Yeah, like
that record.
So
like that.
Yeah.
So like that, right? The first time I heard that record, I was like, oh, he's coming at Cole and Drake. Well, I'm team Dreamville and OVO. So I thought it was a pretty good record, but I didn't feel like that record is inevitable. I'm gonna have to play it every night of my life for the rest of the year. I didn't feel that way. So I never even downloaded it. I don't even have it in Serato.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I can do without it. It's a B tier record. When Not
Goldie,
Like Us,
you love that record.
I love that record. The beat, the surprise of it, the fact that he actually was dissing, was like, oh shit, was mind blowing. And then him being on a Metro Boomin was like a very pleasant surprise.
But when you play that like that, you skip to Kendrick's verse. You don't
No,
let
no, no,
you
no,
let
you gotta
Future
drop
play.
that.
I'm saying, you play the intro, but do you skip Future?
No.
You play the Future.
I play the Future, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But my point is that even if it's a good record, it's not a record that I got 4,000 people waiting to hear at Pier 17. You know what I mean? When Not Like Us dropped, and amongst all of these other disses, right? I was just like, well, it's another one of the disses, and I'm not playing any of them anyway, so I'm not gonna need to play it, and I don't really like the song. But then I seen it catch fire, right? I seen it catch fire, and I seen it kind of be turning into the biggest hip hop record of the year. Right. I think it was the #1 record of the year.
Yeah.
Period. It was like a top pop record, right?
Mm-hmm. It's still in the charts.
Yeah, it's still in the charts. So then I was like, all right, well, this is no longer about my personal stance in this beef, whether it be Dreamville, OVO.
Serve the public.
Or it's more like there's 4,000 people who want to hear this song. So I got to think about it and take myself out of the equation and be like, this is just the biggest hip hop record of the year. Mm-hmm. And that's how I played it in New York, in Chicago, and of course in LA, right? But I did not play it in Toronto.
I was going to ask you.
I did not, because that would be wildly disrespectful, know?
Did they want it?
I don't know. To be honest. I don't know. I just didn't go there, and it wasn't missed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it wasn't missed, because they don't play it in Toronto anyway. Right, that song doesn't get played on the regular at really big events. It might get played in like smaller clubs, what have you. But if the whole community's out, they're not playing that song in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because there's repercussions.
I think there's a great first movement of that song. Till you get to the first chorus, incredible song.
Right.
And then it drags after that. To me, it just drags. There's no change. There's not enough changes in that record for it to have the acclaim, I think.
I love the beginning of the second verse when he brings up Pac and he's like, Oakland's going to be your last stop. I love that part. And that's the only time I'll maybe get out. I'll loop the Oakland part and go into some Bay Area shit.
Oh, okay.
That's
interesting.
Yeah. But to me, that record is undeniably the song of the summer. It's undeniably on a hip hop level, the song of the year.
Wow.
As far as we're talking about hip hop music,
I think it's the story of the year. I would give it that.
I think the crowd has spoken. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the crowd has spoken.
It's like,
it's not about us.
It's like Gladiator.
Yeah.
You know, like it won the crowd.
To tell you the truth,
It won the crowd.
Like he's Maximus. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I get it, but maybe not at my parties. maybe not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you don't have to play it anymore.
Yeah.
You don't.
It is
Yeah.
it is no longer like inevitable.
I forget to play it.
Yeah, I forget to play it
Someone
too.
comes up and says, "Can you play?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
And I'm happy to see the end of it. Like every time I play that song and there's 4,000 people yelling out pedophile, I'm like looking up to my mother in heaven like, forgive me. Forgive me. I'm responsible for this.
Right.
It's just an unsavory record all around. But I think I agree with you, man. It's the hip hop record of the year. And I played it as a DJ that had a job to do.
Yeah. It's funny. I speak to motherfuckers in Toronto, and there's all these things that go out in the public. There are motherfuckers in Toronto that want to hear Not Like Us. So the Weeknd's crew is all in there. The XO motherfuckers. They invade the clubs, they buy bottles, and they make the DJ play Not Like Us. And there's been instances where like, someone wilded out and told the DJ to get out, and it was the opposite. They got the story wrong.
Right.
Where it was actually somebody came up and said to take the record out, and they kicked that dude out, and they kept playing Not Like Us. So it's like there's this weird thing going on in Toronto where there are fuck Drake motherfuckers in Toronto, and they are playing that record. But there's also a risk of like, are we going to run into some OVO motherfuckers in the club?
Well, this goes back to, we had the conversation with Max when we was talking about the takeover and the ether joint.
Yeah.
Like, since that moment, I've never heard anybody play ether in the club.
By the way, Mo, we recorded this Max Glazer episode, and there's this might be the best story I've ever heard in New York nightlife.
Shout out Max. Max got all the stories.
I don't want to give it away, but it was Goldie's birthday, and Max played the ether and a takeover shit.
And it just recapped the whole, and it's the only kind of.
It's going to be on the Patreon?
Patreon.
Yeah.
You got my $6. Is it $6?
I want your $10.
No, you actually do have my $10.
I do have your 10.
Money.
But I gave him to you early out of pity. You had him early.
I was on the train doing dances and shit. I was like, yo, Patreon, $10.
They not like us.
They not like us. So wait, all right. So that's undeniably the song of the summer.
I give it to it.
Is there anything else that was just popping this summer?
I thought that the Tyler record deserves to know.
Which one?
Truth or Dare?
Truth or Dare.
Yeah, but Truth or Dare is, to me, that's like it's a sexy, bubbly record.
That's me, bro. Bubbly and sexy.
Yeah.
Grown and sexy.
You definitely are.
Bubbly and sexy.
For me, the other record is TGIF.
TGIF.
Incredible. That's just the energy. And I don't know if that record would have organically did that without the Rihanna IG story, right? Or was it a TikTok?
So don't you think the Sexy Red record is bigger than the TGIF?
Which one is the Sexy Red?
The one that she just what is it? What is
Get
it
It
called?
Sexy?
Eyes? Yeah, Get It Sexy. That was more this year.
Is
right?
it Get It Sexy from this year or last year?
This year.
So Get It Sexy may have been, but I think it came too early.
Okay.
I think it may have came out really early. Get It Sexy.
It was in the winter when it came out.
Yeah, that's
Right.
why.
Hip hop and R&B have become strictly nostalgic genres, where it's like we just want to hear the nostalgia. Like we just like the nostalgic shit, and it's just kind of like the new shit is like slightly irrelevant to them, to the rooms.
Yeah, well, it's possible that hip hop and R&B has entered its nostalgia era.
Right.
Like, for instance, like after like '89, was it Johnny Kemp Just Got Paid, or like maybe like Tony Feels Good. It hasn't been these types of records. We still rinse those records from 1990 and before,
Right.
from now until forever. So I don't think it's going to be the case with hip hop, but it's possible that nobody wants to hear, unfortunately, an off the wall Michael Jackson style record right now. But everybody would want to hear Off the Wall if you played Rock
Right.
With You, if you played Off the Wall. So I think that's probably what could be happening with hip hop and R&B. Nobody's trying to give their money to the new Usher, but they will listen to Confessions forever. They'll pay for Usher to tour it. They'll pay for us to play Confessions and Superstar at the party. You know what I mean? And that's why that could be a dangerous place to be. And actually, a lot of record labels are laying off A&Rs and a lot of execs around hip hop. That's happening right now.
It seems weird though. Like this year, new music just seems slightly irrelevant. Like to drop an album this year or to drop
it was a big mistake.
It doesn't. It
It's a
seems
big
like
mistake. Big mistake to do it this year.
it doesn't.
I
Seem
think it's sensory overload, man. It's just too much music and too many TikToks and too many stories and too many memes and
Not enough artists that you care about. Like, the fact of the matter is, you want to have those moments of where it's like a big artist comes out with a great album, he announces a tour, he starts a whole nother wave, and it hasn't really been that.
But I've only seen it mostly in hip hop and R&B. But like pop music, like for example, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, right? Charlie XCX, all these, Billie Eilish,
Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
Beyonce kind of
She really didn't.
she
come
didn't
out.
translate this year
Yeah,
with that
this
cowboy
year.
album, with the country album.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the cowboy. I'm talking about Renaissance.
Yeah,
that
but
was
this
like
year, this
that
year.
was this year.
But that's what I'm saying. This year, it seemed like white pop music, really, there was a thirst, or people were starving for that kind of music. Mm-hmm. And those albums were getting absorbed. Mm-hmm. That's the new music that got really absorbed.
Well,
And
the priorities of the labels change. They want to go with something that they feel like is going to be lucrative. And I believe that they kind of toned out the fact that there's going to be a couple of new rap acts, but is it really going to make us the money that we're going to put this much energy into?
Yeah, and a big part of the viability of an artist is the tour revenue, right? So now if you look at every hip hop and R&B festival around America, they're just booking the same people. There are no new artists. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Wayne is getting booked.
The legacy
constantly.
stuff, yeah.
It's everything is legacy, and with artists like Drake and Travis Scott setting a bar so high for what a hip hop artist can gross, I think the labels are like, well, if we ain't doing that, we're not interested.
Exactly.
Right.
We're not trying to develop like a 2 or 1 hit wonder.
because it costs too much money to operate for them,
And they're not selling
And
tickets
they're
on
not
the road.
selling tickets. Like even with the Tyler, she had incredibly big records this year, and I think she has a great album, to tell you the absolute truth. But they didn't have enough faith in her to say, okay, let's take her on the road, because she didn't tour. You know what I mean?
There's a weird.
Technically, they said she sustained an injury. But listen, I don't want to speculate. Tyler's my homegirl. Hi, Tyler. Congrats on all the success.
No, she's great. She's great. But
You did her album release, right?
Yeah.
In New York.
Listen, man, we had her first performance in New York at Everyday Afrique. We had her first performance in LA.
When was that?
I think it might have been, I want to say summer of 2022.
22. Oh.
We had her in Brooklyn, and then early spring 2023, we had her at Everyday People LA. And she was just randomly hanging out at some of the Everyday People's in Johannesburg around that same time. So, we go way back, and I've just watched the incredible hard work that she's going to put in. So I'm going to stick with the story that she sustained an injury, and that's why she's not touring. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't there also miseducation with like Black Americans and Tyler? Like even when they were breaking down like her acceptance speech at the VMAs, when she won the Afrobeats Award, and she was just like graciously saying like, I'm not an Afrobeats artist. Shout out to all the Nigerians. I'm from South Africa. I'm a piano artist.
I relate to her. I relate to her because, I'm not going to say what platform, but these are really, really big platforms. About 2 years ago, asked me to be the face of this new Afrobeats countdown, top 10. It was going to be in partnership with a massive publication and in partnership with a massive DSP. Right? I'll let you guess, right? They asked me to be the face of that countdown, and I declined it. And they were like, I said, I will not do an African music countdown that you guys call Afrobeats.
Right.
Because I'm going to be the face of this misnomer. And every South African's going to come after me. And everybody from another region, East Africa, if their music is bongo flavor, or if their music is, Kwaito, or if they're from like Angola and it's Kuduro or whatever, they're going to come after me because y'all are going to be calling everything on the chart Afrobeats. And I looked at it from way in advance, and I was like, I want no parts. I think they thought I was crazy, but you see it happening now. And what Tyler did is important. I think maybe people thought she was shitting on the MTV Awards, but they have to draw a distinction. She's not an Afrobeats artist. She's if you want to call it African dance music, call it that. but
Right.
you know, Afro beats is specifically Nigerian, and Afro beats is hugely important. It's the most important of all the genres because it opened the door for the rest of the
Everything
African
else.
music to come behind it.
Right.
But what she does is not Afro beats. And if somebody else had won, if DJ Maphorisa or Kabza Small had won that title, they would have been given the title of best Afro beats artist when they're definitely Amapiano artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the equivalent of like giving an award, a reggaeton award, but awarding like a merengue artist or cumbia artist or somebody who does not do reggaeton.
They gave Jethro Tull a Grammy, bro.
Yeah.
And a fucking heavy metal.
Right.
like
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's like, well, like it's everything's reggaeton, right? Everything you
Right,
guys do
right,
is reggaeton just
right.
because it might be the trendy, predominant pop music that crossed over for Latin music.
Well, it's honorable that she said it. You know what I mean? I thought
But
that was
people
very honorable.
they're taking it and they're twisting it around because they don't know what she's talking about. Like even Joe Budden's like fucked it all up. He was just completely wrong.
Wow.
He doesn't know what Amapiano. He doesn't know that Amapiano exists, and it's just this miseducation of it all.
I love you, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're Mr. Joe. You know what? I'm
Would
very.
you
Wait.
stop? Would you stop?
I'm very honored, Goldie, for you to be on this on
Shout
Road
out
podcast.
shout out to the JBP.
Yeah. You're like you're
The
on the
official DJ of the JBP.
You're the official DJ for
Yeah.
Joe Budden's podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
That was amazing. You did his birthday,
Yeah, he's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
Me and him go back, so that was an honor.
but that was a moment. You had like every New York music industry person in this restaurant at Catch.
Well, it wasn't every industry.
It was
guy, but
like Angie
it was-
Martinez. Everyone was wilding, and all these stories that were coming up. Like, yo, Goldie is killing it today. He's killing it.
Thank you.
Even you know what the best part was when you dropped Focus, Joe Budden's.
Yeah, I had to.
The drums from the top.
I had to. Salutations.
He was standing on the cushions just rapping this shit.
You know,
Street ball
all
in the
those
top
records
pop with it.
aged really well. You
Oh
know?
my, Focus sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Focus sounds amazing.
As a Mickey. Just throwing it as a Mickey.
That was a good.
Pump
that
it
was-
Pump
that
It
was a
Up
good
would have
moment.
been so cliche. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. Nah, heads know what time it is with this one.
I'm gonna let you have that moment with Joe Budden's, but you know it's Road Podcast.
It's
to
road
the
pass.
death.
Roadie,
To the
roadie.
death. You're roadie for life.
Yes,
all right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Can't be banging on both sides. Pause.
Hey, boy. That was good for us. Good for us. Good for us. Good for us.
We have to also acknowledge some of like the new music that is amazing that's coming out, like the Doechii album. It's like I enjoyed it. It's
Dope.
like it's like entering like this boom bap phase. We were kind of talking about it, Mo, right? This like all these artists are like who else was doing it? Doja Cat was trying to like get back to like this kind of boom bap.
On her deluxe, she
Yeah.
had some joints on there with some nice beats on there.
Yeah.
I like Doja Cat a lot.
Is there anything but like with the Doechii album and some of this new music? Is this going to translate to the clubs?
I think so.
You think so?
I think the girls are very supportive of her album. And I think that, you know, more of the, how do you say, as you find out that she's affiliated with TDE and the story becomes a little bit more prevalent, I think people will join on. I think it's more you find out about the story about her background and what she's been doing.
It's interesting because she just did that song with Katy Perry on the VMAs, but I don't think she needed it. I don't think she should have done that song with Katy Perry.
Well, you know, I don't think it hurts.
I think it hurts a little.
You think so?
A little
I don't-
bit.
I don't think so. I think it makes her a more rounded artist.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's still not enough awareness
Yeah.
about Doechii
Yeah.
and her style and everything she can
What she
do.
can offer, right.
She can do so much.
Yeah.
Right.
So I played it. Listen, the Nissan Altima records,
Yeah.
that's been from day one for me. For Everyday People, Dance, Dance, Dance. It's 117 BPM. She's barring like crazy. Sometimes I stem out the instrumental and I put her a cappella over Afro House. I've been running that record into the ground.
And did she make the Persuasive record?
Yeah, and Persuasive was we
banger,
ran that
yeah.
all of
Yeah,
last
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
We still
So,
run it.
yeah.
But this is a different style, you know, for Doechii now to be doing kind of like the boom bap, 90 BPM style shit. So we'll see if it sticks. I mean, it could be indicative of a wider trend. Well, you know, we'll have to see because right now the consumer for that is not her listener. So it's like, is she going to be leading that wave? You know, is she going to convert all her listeners to be like, yo, this is fucking fire. I love that I'm like Denial is a river. Just sounds like a De La Soul record. You know, it sounds like a De La Soul record from somewhere between Balloon Mind State and Stakes is High. It sounds from that era.
But it's also like the Nissan Altima is like a revisit to like the Nicki Minaj Roman's Revenge, like that kind of just like aggressive kind of rap, like you know, just barring off and just like going off, like rah rah, like a Dungeon Dragon. Just going off,
to me, it's a mixture of Nicki Minaj with like the aggressive barring, but also Azalea Banks with barring over like a dance record, you know.
But it's also a little smidget of some of that Beyonce rap on Renaissance too, where it's kind of like it's a little bit dancey too. There's a mix of dance in it, and it's kind of like almost like, you know, Madonna Vogue rap at the end of the song. You know,
I think that it's got to make people care about her. Like you got to hear more about the story.
There's got to be a story.
Think there has to be a story to connect it, because the way I see it is that it's not enough artists where you give a fuck about, because so many artists are coming out.
Right.
So if you have that record, you kind of want to build a story about the person.
No, you're
to
right.
Make them care.
I'm going to say of any artist that's come out over the past 5 years, like men or women, she's in the top 10 most talented.
Sure.
Easily. And she can dance too.
Yeah.
And she can perform. Incredible breath control. You know, performs without like a vocal track. And
shout out to Miss Milan too. Miss Milan's been, you know, she's been DJing with her.
Yeah, Miss Milan brought her to Dance 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 last year. We had a little moment.
Nice.
Mike just ran a few of her songs that she was behind like the DJ booth, like singing along, rapping along. So yeah. Man.
That's dope.
Huge fan.
Is there any other artists or songs that you've been championing this year? This kind of stood out? Or even, you know, like there's a bunch of editors that I've been loving this year. They've been like saving me this year. A ton of editors that have just been kind of put me on the right path, and I'm like, thank God you exist.
I mean, shout out Trey's.
Trey's is critical.
Trey's edit of Tyler. What's the name of the song? Jump.
Yeah, with the Diwali.
With the Diwali rhythm. I ran it in London in July for the first time.
I just followed Trey's on
and
Instagram.
I've been running it, you know, everywhere. I don't even really play the radio version. I only play the Trey's version.
Yeah.
And it's great because it sets me up to go into Diwali or to go out of Diwali. So it's also like
Bridges.
a DJ tool.
Yeah.
And I've been using almost exclusively Trey's edits for the Everyday People recap videos.
Nice.
All summer. Yeah.
Are you going to use some of the road mix edits, you know, with some of the things we have?
So I played this week. I've been playing the back to 74.
Yeah.
The Full Crate Remix Road Podcast remix / edit.
Yeah, with Pete Down. Shout out to Pete Down.
Bro, I opened up my set in London with it. I think the DJ before me was playing like something like mid-tempo, and I kind of came in with Georgia Smith on my mind to just capture everybody and get them in that.
You just dropped it on the one.
No, I blended it in with the loop, and just to capture everybody because it's such a huge song. And then I was like, I'm gonna do the back to 74 after this. Bro, people were gasping, and it was so good. I started my set with it in LA. Same shit.
Really?
And after that, I think I played a UKG remix of Date at 8 by the Four Bats. And I played a similar set last night at Dance Dance Dance. So, listen, I got to give you guys props. That remix is fire. Of course, shout out Full Crate.
Shout out Full Crate, yeah.
For like reimagining the whole thing.
Right.
It's kind of like R&B mode. But then shout out to you guys for he took a up-tempo record, make it down-tempo, and you guys brought it back up in tempo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Pete Down, I've been working with Pete Down on a couple things, but he's been killing it. Like,
and this is available on Patreon?
It's on Patreon, but I think we gotta I gotta just start putting out some of the pools just so it could get out there a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a great,
you know, people know the song, you know?
Yeah.
And the way it comes in, it's kind of unsuspecting because y'all got an 8-bar intro, but nothing happens on the 9. Nothing happens.
Right.
And then the vocal comes in. And people's like, oh my God, is this what I think? It looks like one of these fake TikTok house parties where everybody's like, oh my God, is the DJ really doing that?
That's a great edit. I've been like looking forward to playing that edit whenever I play.
I played it 3 times in the past week. I played it in LA and London and in New York.
Thank you.
That's what's up.
This was not planned, by the way. Thank you, Mo. I haven't heard this yet. I haven't heard this. This wasn't set up. We didn't pay him to say this.
It's like my secret weapon. It's my secret weapon right now. And I'm telling everybody about it.
Yeah.
But because no one else has it unless you're member of the R.O.A.D podcast Patreon, which you ought to be.
No, it is true. I mean, you're one of the first people that I called to talk about like the renegotiations we were having with DJ City and Beat Source. And it's like, like it's really just like it's just kind of where we are right now in the year. And a lot of companies have been doing a ton of layoffs. Everyone's kind of downsizing. Everyone has their own reasons why they're doing this, right? Some are trying to survive. Some are trying to look for investors. Some are trying to do so many other things. But it just so happens we have to be, collateral damage in the sponsorship area with DJ City and Beat Source. But, we had all these interviews, Goldie, in the cut.
Gold, bro. Gold.
And then, for them to just say like, hey, we're just going to cut off the sponsorship and you guys just take a break for the next 3-4 months. And I'm like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, this shit, like we gotta keep you.
Fuck that, son.
We can't do that. But every time we want to, me and Mo talk a lot about just not only creative shit, but like business. He's probably my number one. He's one of my first calls when it comes to business. But yeah, I mean, my wild thought was like, look, we move everything to Patreon, and we survive on Patreon, and then we'll figure out the DSPs and the YouTube shit later. Like, we can just stagger the episodes 2 months, 3 months, and just release them later. But yeah, when you told me you thought that could work, and it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I still think maybe every month or two, just one episode in DSPs.
Yeah.
Or maybe like previews of an episode or something as bait, to attract more subscribers. But listen, I think not only do you have a niche kind of market, you've been doing it virtually longer than anyone else, and you have the most stickiness of the other DJ podcasts. I feel like I've seen the other DJ podcasts come and go. They'd be here for like 3 months in a row, then off for 6 months, then they're back or what have you.
Right.
And you guys really only took some time off, when Never Passed, God rest his soul. So
definitely,
you guys have the consistency, and I think the listeners know that you guys are consistent, and it's like, man, it's worth the investment, because the shit that y'all got in the pipeline looks crazy. And to be, truthfully honest about it, I feel some type of way about being the last free interview. I feel like I'm the last basic economy,
You're the stimulus. You're the stimulus.
After this, everybody is like premium. Everybody's comfort plus.
Yeah.
Everybody's business class.
Yeah.
This is the last freebie,
Because no one, you don't have that pull to grab people on Patreon.
I mean, why would you pay for me when you've had me on this freaking show like 20 times already?
I was just telling him, this is the first one you've been on all year,
That's right.
Yeah. But it feels like something, you're so part of the fam, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it feels like, I'm glad we have you for this, for the last episode of the year. Kind of. That's free for everybody.
The last free episode ever.
The last meal.
That's my claim to fame.
The complimentary snacks and drink on the plane, right?
No more free, Randy. No more free, Randy.
No, I mean, look, like I've said this on the Patreon, and I haven't said it, obviously on the public episodes, but this year was really kind of like, when Never Passed. I wasn't, I've talked with you many times, like, are we going to keep the podcast going? What are we going to do? And Goldfinger, thanks to you, I'm telling you, like, I don't think you realize how important your involvement is in this podcast surviving, because if you weren't a part of this podcast and helping me and co-hosting and gathering all these amazing guests for the podcast, this year, I don't think we would have survived, man.
I think you would have, but thank you. I appreciate that sentiments and everything. And thanks to Mo, because he basically introduced me to you guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's a circle, the circle.
Yeah, but you've been a hero of ours for a long time.
Yo, can I tell a story of how I met Goldie?
Yeah.
Fucking love that story, bro. Did I tell it before on the podcast?
Hey, who cares?
I'm not sure.
Who cares?
Not sure.
Well, obviously, I used to go to all the parties. I think you guys were in Times Square at Club New York at one point. You guys were in...
Not to interrupt, supposedly there's a wild Club New York story that you have.
Yeah, it's a wild club.
It's a wild Club New York story.
Let him finish this.
Yeah, we finished it. Maybe we'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
I think did you do Mars 2112?
Certainly did.
So I was just like a civilian, bro. I was in the line, just just queuing up to pay whatever, $30, $40 to get in. If we had on Tim's, they would charge us more because that was the racket back in the day. And then ultimately, once I became less of a civilian and I started hanging with people downtown, that's when I discovered the Lotus Party.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of like, oh, I'm exclusive because they wasn't even charging at the door at Lotus.
Sundays at Lotus.
You just had to get past the door somehow. And one of my homies was promoting the night, and he was like, yo, you got to bring some honeys with you. And I had my father's minivan, like a Ford Windstar, 1998, right? So the year is probably like 2001, 2002. I don't really remember the year. And I would drive around and pick up all of my cousins. Every Sudanese girl, every Ethiopian girl, every Eritrean, every Somali girl. And I'd pull up with 11 to 12 women who I was kind of related to in a sense. I wasn't like a Mac, but I'd pull up to the door with like 12 beautiful girls just so I could get in. And they'd look at me at the door like, all right, killer, go ahead, you good? I said, I'm good. I did good. And I would go in there and I'll tell the girls, y'all have fun. I had no money. I had nothing for them, right? Just go talk to Maxwell or Paul Pierce or whomever just got drafted that day, right? And as soon as we would walk in, Goldie always early on had the vibes. You know, Shaka Khan, Michael Jackson, George Michael, 80s.
Yeah.
And we were just vibing. We're like, this shit is incredible. It was such a new way for us to party because we were kind of discovering partying with this music that we weren't of age when it was out in the clubs.
Yeah.
So we would go for that. And then, you know, after like 1 a.m., Goldie would turn it up. Fucking the latest Locks, the latest DMX, whatever have you, right? And then it would become a real hip hop party. But we predominantly went for the first 2 to 3 hours. I remember he was the only dude I would hear play Tony Braxton, Take the Ring. Take the Ring. And I would tell people, you got to come to Lotus. This DJ plays Take the Ring. They were like, what is Take the Ring? It's an album cut from Tony Braxton, produced by Rich Harrison. Anyway, after going sufficiently, I was like, yo, I got to give Goldie one of my mixtapes. And I just made my way. I made my way to the booth. It was Satisfy My Soul Volume 2. And I just opened the door. And Goldie didn't even wild out on me. He wasn't like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here? I was just like, yo, Goldie, I'm a huge fan. This is my mixtape. I want to give it to you. He was like, thank you. I appreciate that. And I was like, all right, I did
so
my
the
bit.
The cover was very clever.
Yeah.
It was the riff off of the Sam Records joint.
The Sam Records, but I made it say DJ Moma.
But I had the Moma in the same lettering. It was very clever.
Shout out to Sean Elwood who made that cover.
Oh, Elwood.
Yeah, Elwood made that cover.
I enjoyed that mix. That was really, really dope.
And then, you know, I think back then on your mixtape, you had your email address or whatever.
Right.
And I got a very short email from Goldie. It said, thank you for the mix. I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the Prince parts. And remember, I sent that email to you. I sent it to 11. I was like, yo, Goldie, listen to my mix. And he blessed it. So that's the story of how, like, you know, I like Goldie.
Oh, man.
Bless.
You've always been so gracious, and you acknowledge people outside of any stature or fame or anything. You talk to people like, you know, for who they are, and if they're a DJ, you just speak to them DJ. We're all like one plane, right? The DJ plane, and no matter the age or anything, it's
I try to approach it. You know, I get that from my mom's. My mom's is very personable.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm not as outwardly, you know, going like that, but I just try to treat people with respect. You know what I mean?
It's amazing, though. It's amazing to, like, you know, we look up to you. It's kind of like, over the years and the decades, Mo and I have been in this industry and nightlife. It's like you don't really want to meet your heroes, you know. But you're one of the
really
few.
Don't.
You're one of the few that we've met, and we're just like, oh, like this motherfucker's different, you know. Like this is kind of what I want to be. This is what I want to carry, that same energy, you know,
Dope,
and
I
keep it
appreciate
going.
that.
Yeah.
And I have another theory on something that Goldie's responsible for, which he may or may not want the credit, but probably like maybe 7 or 8 years later, when I finally booked him for Everyday People at the DL in 2013, you know, me and Rich Knight, we had set it up. We had opened up for him. We got the party to a pretty good place, and then Goldie got on. And the year is 2013, so you got to really remember the context. Swag Surfing was not a lit record in 2013, right?
Right.
It had come out in 2009, I believe, or something like that, right? And it had... it was there for about a year or two, and then nobody played it anymore. Everybody stopped playing it. Goldie got on that day, and at some point in his set, when he played it and it went off, like me and Rich Knight were like, swag surfing is a monster? How did that happen?
Yeah.
And, we started playing it after that. And I think, Everyday People is the first, like, traveling day party to have these viral swag surfing moments. And now swag surf, we're partially responsible for that. But it's Goldie who put the bug in my ear. You know what I'm saying? It's Goldie who planted the seed. Because when I seen him play it at the DL, I was like, this song is an absolute monster. So I don't know, it's a dubious award, but
no, I'm good with it.
Get the
I'm
credit.
good with it. And the thing about it is, it's interesting because you don't know what you're gonna be known for, or you don't know what influence that you have. So you just try to do your best, and whatever sticks.
It's great. You always create these different memories, like these memories for different people. For me, it's the Ashford and Simpson into So Seductive. We build it up,
build it up.
To you. I'll never forget that in my life. I was talking to a chick and I was like, whoa, and I just looked down, I'm like, wow, he did that shit. I came the next week and you did it again. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it was just different little.
Yeah,
little tidbits, whatever like that.
I went to Rock and Soul and I bought that record. I bought it Solid as a Rock. I'm like, yo, you got Solid as a Rock? I might do that mix. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, thank you so much. I mean,
it's my pleasure.
It's crazy. Like,
of course, to keep the legacy alive. I love what you're doing. I was a fan before then, but definitely just to make sure that this has worth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We have to do what we have to do.
I don't want to talk about Goldie like in the past tense because you're still a working ass DJ.
Oh, yeah. JBP,
you are outside.
JBP.
I mean, do we want to talk about?
Still a working ass DJ.
It's interesting because like your birthday party last year, right? You had a birthday party. I had technical issues, but you had all of these DJs that came in. Ali Escobar came to DJ. I came to DJ. Soul even just stopped by to say what's up, and Goldie got on and just completely murdered it. But there's this like new generation of DJs that have not experienced Goldfinger.
So I met Showcase that night.
Yeah,
I met Showcase and Fly Jerry.
Yeah, you had Showcase and Fly Jerry. These young DJs are like, he's like, the legends are true. They're like the legends are true.
Yeah,
like,
I love those guys, man. Those guys are so cool, man. I've been following them now, like, since then.
Yeah.
And it's great just to know that they get busy too. And I'm going to their events. Like I went to fucking Juneteenth.
Oh, Juneteenth in Jersey.
I went there. Yeah, man. That shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah, shout out Showcase, shout out Fly Jerry. They're like, it's a bunch of good dudes, man. That more than anything, I think they're just good people. They're also like excellent DJs.
Yeah,
great. But they're good people, and they work hard. Definitely. That's really all you can ask.
Definitely.
Nah, I mean that's the next gen. That's the motherfuckers that come.
Great
through.
hands, man.
It's great,
great
right?
Hands, great hands.
I love it.
Great hands.
They're
and they have
great
some
hands.
really dope parties, sold out days.
Yep.
All these fucking joints that they have, and it's like, these guys get busy.
Yeah. There's a great speech where Moma's trying to give his flowers to you at his birthday last year.
I just wanted to play the next record. He started talking to me and shit.
You're way too humble. You guys were almost in a fist fight.
I wanted to keep playing the records, man. Come on, man. Stop that shit.
Moma had to be like,
stop.
Moma's like, yo, he took the mic away. He's like, you need to chill. It's my birthday. I want to talk about you for a second.
Man.
Yeah, I talked for about a minute.
I have that footage.
Yeah, I talked for about a minute.
Jamie aired the footage now.
And then, I knew, I just told Goldie, just drop something huge. And as soon as I was done talking about my history, like how I was a fan of Goldie,
right.
How I got to, become a friend of Goldie, and how at some point I became a peer of Goldie. And then he just fucking dropped Freeway, What They Do. And the floor caved. And it was all these DJs of this next generation, like, 30 and under, who were just like, I'm having, people were telling me, I just had my first real New York moment. And people who had lived there in New York for like 5 to 6 years, I think I just had my first real New York moment.
How did you know to drop that record?
If he would have not stopped, I had a couple other.
Wait, what was the other ones going in your mind?
There was a couple. I forgot exactly where I was going to go, but then when he started talking, I was like, I got to drop something crazy.
Yeah.
And you were like, what we do?
Yeah, got to go there.
Oh my God. It was so perfect.
man, I would do anything for this guy, man. For this, it's all good, man.
Wait, there's too much love. There's too much love in the building.
Hey,
right now.
relax.
So wait, just rest assured, there's no birthday party this year.
Oh, damn. I was looking for it, bro.
Yeah, because, with the timing with everyday people on my birthday, we're actually in Dubai. So,
Okay. Excuse me.
yeah.
It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for you.
Yeah, also, I don't feel that celebratory. I feel good doing the parties, and it's a business. It's my career, and there's a community of people out there who want us to do these events. But as far as a birthday celebration and being in the boom boom room with 200 of my closest friends, it just feels like a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom, and
condolences, brother.
Yeah,
I know
thank
you
you.
were going through it, and it's just a tough time. I feel like it's just crazy. Like, I went through a hard time with Never passing, and then to see you go through it with your moms, it was just like, it was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's like we almost kind of went through the same things where we were kind of starting to see things a little bit differently, and like that our priorities changed a little bit for us.
Yeah, man. You really you start to you prioritize things different, and then you shed a lot of dead weight. I just felt like I shed a lot of dead weight, and then just to break it down to real simple core elements. In life, you kind of have you have your God, you have your family, you have your health, you have your career, and that ends up being just the things you focus on. And then you look at all the other things, the swag, the social, the girls, and you're like, I can't even dedicate bandwidth to that stuff right now. So, obviously it's a tremendous loss, losing a person like her. It's a tremendous loss, not just my life, for hundreds of people. But what I've gained out of it,
whole community,
I've gained more clarity, out of it,
Are we going to start seeing some Moma music coming through soon?
Yeah, we need that.
Actually, that was kind of my goal for this year, was to actually focus more on the music. Then, of course, everything kind of got derailed. And after it got derailed, I also put less pressure on myself.
Yeah.
We're oh man, I was intending on getting a house somewhere in Mozambique or South Africa and cooking up for 3 months and having a project and dropping it in June, and then maybe touring it and this, that, and the third, and balancing everyday people. And now I'm like, you know what? Just make the music, do what feels right.
Yeah.
Do it on your own time. And most importantly, I'm just trying to look out for my family, take care of my family and my health, and then everything else will work out.
Do you feel it's like more of a purpose now because of it?
I can't say that I found the purpose specifically, but I've really been able to identify the bullshit.
Gotcha.
So that's a good start.
That's a good start. Yeah.
That's actually
The
that's
best
a great
start.
start.
Yeah,
That's a great
right?
start.
Yeah.
Filtering the bullshit will lead you to the promised land, if anything. Yeah. Mo, Goldie, I want to thank y'all. I had to talk about this move to Patreon. And this is like a safe place, to just kind of, I had no notes for this episode aside from Estelle coming through earlier.
Are we done?
We're going to end. Mo, Goldie,
my man.
Thanks so much, for I was saying earlier, I needed a safe space, with that I could record an episode, talk about our move to Patreon, but also just kind of catch up with close friends and brothers, and really just talk about, without any notes or anything, just kind of just talk about and catch up.
Kick it.
With life, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, thank you so much.
My man.
I think a Goldfinger, thank you so much for this year. Mo, thank you, man, for being there.
Anytime,
man. I'm always here for you, always, man. And we'll see you on Patreon, y'all.
Jamie.
Peace. Shout out Jamie the Great. Never forever.
Never forever. Yep. We out. Peace. If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.